ESPN just ranked so far the top 10 rookies as far as how they've been. Like overall period, not the top 10, like how they were drafted, but who they feel like been the top 10 most productive rookies overall.
In the NFL?
No, it's on my ESPN app. It's on my ESPN app.
No, NFL rookies?
Yeah. They got Chris Olave number 1, Sauce Gardner number 2, Damian Pierce, running back from Houston, number 3, Bryce Hall from the Jets, number 4, Devin Lloyd, inside linebacker from the Jacksonville Jags, number 5, Tyreek Woolen, cornerback from Seattle, number 6.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, number 7. Trayvon Walker, number 8, the first overall pick.
He ain't been doing too bad. Yeah,
Drake London, number 9, and then at 10 they got Jalen. What is it? Petrie, safety from Texas.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I wish Dotson was on there, but he's missed some games. It matters.
I know Hutchinson killed us. I don't know what he been doing after he did with us, but
nah, he been hurt. You gotta be available, bro.
Yeah. Even the offensive lineman from Baltimore, he been legit, but he been hurt too. So the center.
All right, guys. What's up, man? Welcome to fourth quarter. How's everybody doing?
Cool. Can't complain.
Craig, the the NBA season's about to start, brother.
Yeah, I got a draft tonight, 8:00.
Yeah, and the New York football teams are winning, which is, I don't think we've seen that in a long time. I don't think we've seen the New York Football Giants and winning at the same time. I enjoy it because New York fans they're interesting.
That's good for football. It's definitely good for the sport.
Yeah, man. It's good, man. So let's talk about the NBA. Because the NBA season is going to start, which is October 19th, which is what? It starts the 18th?
Yeah, that's
Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday, ain't it?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the 19th. Okay. Oh, it was Wednesday. All right. Okay, cool. So it starts the 18th, which is pretty phenomenal. I can't wait. But I really don't get into the NBA. I'm gonna probably watch it a lot earlier this year. But I for some reason I don't really get into the NBA till probably around
at the All-Star break.
Nah, around Christmas I really ramp it up. Like Christmas I watch a lot of NBA games. But this year I'm gonna try to watch it early. It's just the NBA season. It's not only 82 games, but teams will do so well in the beginning, right? And then next thing you know, after the All-Star break, the teams that do well after the All-Star break ended up doing good in the playoffs and winning the chip. That's like a thing in the NBA. So you have so much more time to figure out everything. But then after the All-Star break, it's kind of like, I think for the NFL is week 8, I think, where teams start turning it up a notch, right? I think it's about week 8.
Something like that. Where teams started, when you catch a team that going like that 6-7 game winning streak, I know it. You be like, all right, they start off slow.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think Tampa might do. Like out of all the teams right now, I think Tampa might do that. Like, they'll float around, be decent, then all of a sudden they'll catch 5.
I think so too. Watch out for the Rams. They might be one of those teams, especially the NFC being how it is.
Even Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's capable of doing that. They fixed those
Cincinnati.
I think they're capable of just catching fire. Like
they are. They're one of the teams that if they make the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, even out.
Yeah, even if they, I know I continuously say the hangover, but if they get in, they're gonna be a tough out.
Right.
They're gonna be tough out. So NBA. right? Is it the first 10 seeds that go to the playoffs, right? The play-in?
It's the top 7. It's the top 7, and then you got 8, 9.
No, it's the
You got
top
7. Oh, no, top 6, right?
top 6.
Yeah, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do like a little play-in joint.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
10 seeds overall can make it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start off with Craig with this one, especially because he's in the draft. And as right now in the NBA East, who's your top 10 seeds in NBA East and West?
You want them in order or just any team?
In order, yeah. I need them in order.
See,
I feel like the East is easier than the West.
I don't know. It's still difficult to me. Like, all right,
Very early.
for 10, I just threw something in the air. I have no clue who's gonna be 10 because all the teams kind of are not that good. But I got the Wizards.
Yep.
I thought about putting the Pistons there, but I think they're like a year away. 9, I got the Bulls.
Yep.
8, I got the Hawks.
8, you got the Hawks 8, right?
Yeah, Hawks 8. Raptors are 7. 6, I got the Heat. 5, I got the Nets. 4, I got the Cavaliers. 3, I got the Celtics. 3, I got the Sixers.
Okay.
2, I got the Celtics, and 1, I got the Bucks.
You got the Cavs at 5.
Cavs at 4.
4. That's high, man. I know some
Cavs are going to be a lot better this year.
I think they're going to be really good.
I think the Heat take a step back. I think the Nets are going to be. I guess they'll take a step up since they were 7 last year. But I don't know. I think the Nets could go higher than that. It just depends on how they coexist.
Depends on a lot with them.
Yeah, out in the West, I got the Kings at 10. I got the Lakers at 9.
Okay.
I got the Mavericks at 8.
Okay.
Pelicans at 7.
Ooh.
I like the Pels this year. I think they could be higher than this too. I got
Mavs at 8.
I don't know, man. I think they could be higher as well, but I think the Pelicans got better because they're getting Zion back. I think the Timberwolves, who I got at 6, are getting better because they got some pieces there and they can improve on that playoff.
Yep.
Because they could have won that series against Memphis. They blew some games. 5, I got Memphis. 4, I got the Suns. 3, I got the Clippers. If everybody's healthy. 2, I got the Nuggets, and 1, I got the Warriors.
Ooh, you got the Warriors as the number 1 seed.
I just think they're ready to defend the title. I think they don't need home court, obviously, but I think they're ready to just go out here and prove to everybody that they can be the number 1 seed again. And I think they're ready. I mean, obviously they got the issues with the whole Draymond Green thing and all that, but I think when they get on the court and they improved, I thought they got DiVincenzo who can play defense. They're getting Wiseman back. They did lose Gary Payton, but you know it is what it is. They still got, to me, the best team in the league between them and the Bucks. So even like Denver's getting Murray back. Clippers are getting Kawhi back. The Suns are still good.
Denver's getting Murray and they're getting Porter back healthy.
Grizzlies, I don't know if they're going to be. I got them at 5, but I mean the Grizzlies could go lower than the Pelicans. I don't know what I'm going to see out of this team. I think last year could have been a fluke late year, but who knows? But like if I had to make the playoffs though, I got the Lakers getting the 8th seed to play the Warriors, and I got the Pelicans getting the 7th seed to play the Nuggets. And in the East, I got the Hawks getting the 8th seed to play the Bucks, and the Raptors getting the 8th seed or the 7th seed to play the Celtics. So I do think the Lakers I do have the Lakers in the playoffs, but I think they got to play the Warriors. I think either the Warriors or the Nuggets. And I don't think I see them beating either one of those teams.
I don't know.
I think they can win a play-in game is what I'm saying. I think they can beat the Kings, the 9-10, and then they can beat the loser of the 7-8, which I got the Dallas Mavericks losing that game. So I got the Lakers and the Mavericks playing each other to get the 8th seed, and I think the Lakers can win. I'm not really high on the Mavericks. I don't know. I just see one person on that team, and I don't see anybody else. And they don't play defense. Well, they started playing defense a lot last year, but I'm just not a believer. I know they got to the Western Conference Finals and all that, but I'm just not high on the
He'll
Mavericks.
need some help.
I think they need another star. Maybe if they make a trade or something like that, or get some other big time scorer. They thought they had it last year, but they didn't with Dinwiddie. That didn't really work out. I mean, it's just pretty much Luka there by itself to me. I don't really. Maybe I gotta look at the roster again, but I don't really
But
see.
they got Christian Wood, I think.
Yeah, I see Luka there by himself. I don't. No, I don't see how. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see him going back to the conference finals. It's going to be that it reminds me of the year that the Trailblazers made it to the Western Conference Finals. They got beat. They got swept by the Warriors 4-0, and then you just never heard from them again. Like they haven't.
Is that when they got swept without? Is that when they got swept without? Hold on, which one is that? Is that when? Hold on, let me remember.
It was a few years ago.
Is that when KD was out and they swept him? And then KD came against Toronto?
Yeah, that was against Toronto. That was the Toronto.
They swept him without KD.
So this team reminds me of that. Like I see some pieces on there, but I don't know. So that's my top 10. And then
Mo, who you got for the East and the West, the NBA? Who's gonna make the playoffs?
Oh, that is my bad. So in the West, I got Clippers, number 1. I think they're gonna be on a mission. I got my bad. That view was throwing me off. I got Clippers number 1. I got Warriors number 2. I got Suns at 3. I got Memphis at 4. I got Mavs at 5. I got New Orleans at 6. I got Minnesota at 7. I got the Nuggets at 8, only because I don't know if Porter and Murray gonna be healthy. I mean, they gotta show it to me. I would have put them higher in a normal season with all of them healthy. I definitely would have put them higher, but just the unknown and staying healthy for me, I'm gonna put them at 8. I got Lakers at 9, and I got the Kings at 10.
Man,
I think some way somehow Lakers even at 9, I think Lakers are going to get into the playoffs. Like I just can't see Lakers just not in the playoffs 2 years in a row when you got LeBron James there. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but it's just hard for me to believe. Even at his old age, it's just hard for me to look and see LeBron James is not in the playoffs 2 years in a row. And the Lakers it's just crazy.
What about the East, man?
The East, I got Milwaukee at 1. I think Giannis and them gonna come out motivated. If Middleton comes back healthy, I think they got bitter taste in their mouth about how things ended. Even pushing Washington to the limit, even pushing Boston to the limit like that without Middleton. I think they gave them a good series. It wasn't like they was getting blown out. I got Miami at 2. I got Boston at 3. I think they're gonna, I think they might struggle in the beginning with all that's been going on, but I can see them catching fire. They might be a team that starts slow, and then as everything get rhythm, as far as coaching and stuff like that, they'll catch fire. Okay, at the end of the day, they got the talent. I'm gonna go Philly at 4. I'm gonna go Cleveland at 5. I'm gonna go Nets at 6. I'm gonna go Toronto at 7. I'm gonna go Atlanta at 8. Even though I love the Murray move to add with Trey, but I'm still gonna go Atlanta at 8. I'm gonna go New York at 9. I'm gonna go Wizards at 10.
Yeah, both of y'all had the Wizards at 10. I kind of got them there too. All right, let me start out with the East. The number 1 seed, I think it's gonna. I think Philadelphia 76ers get the number 1 seed, man. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not a surprise though. I feel like they're probably top 3 in everybody's list anyway. Then I got Milwaukee Bucks. Then the 3rd seed, I have the Boston Celtics. Despite all they're going through, I think they got a good team, and I think they're going to be all right. The 4th seed, I kind of like what Craig said, but I got Miami Heat. I think they're going to be the Heat. Number 5, I got the Cavaliers. I think with the addition of Donovan Mitchell is kind of exactly what they need, and I like their young core, and I think they're gonna shock some people. They are. They're gonna be like, dang, the Cavs, but You know, the 6th seed, I got Brooklyn. I would love to put them in the number 1 or 2, but it's just a lot of question marks I have. What does Ben Simmons look like? I mean, healthy. Can Steve Nash really coach? Maybe not. I think Kyrie balls out this year, but the question mark is Ben Simmons and the coach Steve Nash, because it all depends if you can make that team gel. That matters. The 7th seed, oh, 7th seed. I'm gonna go Toronto Raptors. Once again, they're good. They're a good squad. 8th seed, I'm gonna go Atlanta Hawks. The 9th seed, I'm gonna go Chicago Bulls. And the 10th seed, I'm gonna go Washington Wizards. But for the most part, it looks like we're all kind of on the same page of the Eastern Conference. I mean, most times the East is set, at least with the top. But most times, from my experience, the East is pretty loaded and good. Western Conference. Was the best is out the West? I don't know, man. The 1st seed, I don't like to say this, but I'm gonna go with this. So surprised. I'm gonna go with the Clippers. Not the Lakers, guys. Not the Lakers. But I gotta go with the Clippers. I think they're healthy. They have a good team. I think Kawhi took exactly the amount of time they needed last year, so I think they're going to be good. The number 2 seed. The number 2 seed. I'm gonna go Denver Nuggets. I think everybody's back healthy this year. With Murray, Jokic, Porter, I think they get the number 2 seed. The number 3 seed, I know a lot of people, Craig, I know you read this. A lot of people don't have the Warriors in the top 8 seeds. But I do. I got the Warriors, number 3. They're gonna get over the whole Jordan Poole, Draymond Green. We're gonna talk about that next. The whole Jordan Poole, Draymond, I think they get over it. I do think they have a good locker room. I think they're number 4. Number 3 seed, I'm sorry. Number 4, I think I'm gonna go. Oh, I don't. I'm gonna go Phoenix Suns. I think they have Chris Paul back. They're gonna play good. They got Ayton. They got Booker. They're gonna be right where I bet they left off. The problem is I don't know so much about Chris Paul's age. He had an injury last year that kind of stifled them. So he might get a little bit more rest this year, but they'll be back once again. The 5th seed, I got the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans are gonna come out and they're gonna ball this year. I think they're gonna surprise people like the Grizzlies did last year, and I think the Grizzlies take a step back. The 6th seed, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves have got a young team. I think only reason you can't use Gobert's in the playoffs, but then they have Cat to stretch the floor. So during regular season, they get that defense they're gonna play really big, and a lot of teams they match up well with a lot of teams. 7th seed, I got Memphis Grizzlies. They'll be back. They're young. I think they just took a step back, and nobody is surprised by them this year. What's that? The 8th seed. If the Lakers are healthy, I have them in the 8th seed. If AD and LeBron are healthy, they're in the 8th seed. Maybe the 7th. Maybe. But I got them making the playoffs. If we would have pulled the trade off for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, we would be a lot higher. But until that comes to fruition, we're at the bottom of the barrel, Laker fans. It doesn't feel good at all. Might feel good for everybody else, but not Lakers fans. Number 9, I got the Mavs. I'm with Craig on this. I don't know why they let Brunson go. I mean, I thought they could have retained him, but I think if he would have came back, they would be a different seed. But they got to get Luka some help. They're gonna find out real quick why they need help. And the 10 seed, I got the Trailblazers, which is nothing wrong. If the Blazers were in like the Eastern Conference, they'd be like, think like a 5th seed. It's just like they're in the West and they don't have McCollum. Like I just, I'm not a believer in Jokic, and I do like Jeremy Grant. I just don't think they added Dame enough. And he's a loyal guy. So
Please.
you said what?
I don't think the Blazers would be good enough to finish higher than 8th in the East.
8th? Damn. Maybe. You might be right.
I don't think they're that good anymore.
You might be right. But I do agree with you with the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans are going to be. I think really good, yo.
Zion, I think
they're going to be really good.
Could be higher. I got him at 7, but I think I could put him at 5. I had him at 5, then I switched him out.
Man, you should have, yo. Go with it, man. I think they're going to surprise people like Memphis did last year. You got Brandon Ingram, Zion, McCollum. They deep, yo.
As long as they can stay healthy, I think they'll be good.
Yeah. Health matters because of availability.
That's any team.
Yeah, that's any team. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the Lakers. If AD's not healthy, you see what happens. The Clippers, if Paul George and Kawhi not healthy, the Nuggets, if Murray and Porter not healthy, it matters, yo. And see what Golden State is. Steph was healthy, and then Clay started to get healthy at the right point in time. So we're gonna see. But yeah, this is gonna be. I think this is gonna be a really good NBA season. Okay, before we get to our NFL 5 recap, everybody has seen the video of Jordan Poole getting hit by Draymond Green. There's no audio, which I would like to hear it, but Craig, they said Jordan Poole hasn't accepted any apology from Draymond yet. Do you think this is going to, first of all, do you think Jordan Poole should accept his apology? And do you think this is going to affect the season?
I don't think it's going to affect the season. I think this team's been through a lot, and they still have their big 3 that they started out years ago with, and they're still there on the same team. They're still playing each other. They still have the same coach. That's the nucleus of the team. Now, Jordan Poole and Kuminga and even Andrew Wiggins, they're like the future of the team. So obviously, when these guys, Steph and Clay and Draymond, when they leave or get traded or whatever's going to happen for Draymond, I'm not sure. Then these next group of guys are going to step in and be that next group for Steve Kerr. So I think it's a setback, but I don't think it's like the end all be all. I don't think it's going to. I still have them finishing in the 1st seed. I just don't think.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think they're going to be really affected by this. Maybe this was like a younger team, like the Pelicans or something like that.
Or Memphis.
Or Memphis or some younger team that hasn't been through this adversity, hasn't won championships, haven't been there and seen it and did whatever. Then okay, I can understand it. That might have some effect, especially without like a veteran coach in the locker room or something like that, or just a veteran group of guys. But this team has been through a lot. They still have other veteran guys that don't even like Iguodala. He's coming back again. Like he doesn't even get a lot of playing time, but I mean he's like a voice in the locker room as well. So those guys, and then like I said, Steve Kerr is being the coach. I just don't think it's going to really affect their season that much. Like I have them repeating, actually, when the championship again. So
we're gonna get to that next week. All right.
Yeah, little preview. So yeah, I don't think
back to back.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to really affect their team. If I was Poole, I wouldn't. I mean, eventually you got to. Maybe you don't have to do anything, but eventually I would accept his apology. But I mean, right now, like everything's still kind of kind of murky. It's still kind of like feelings are still in the air and all that stuff. Draymond Green, he was definitely wrong for punching him. He said he was hurt or something, like he was like hurt people. He was dealing with some stuff, but I mean that's still no excuse to go out and punch your teammate.
Yeah.
In any way. So he's definitely wrong for that. The team said they're not going to suspend him; they're going to fine him or whatever it is. I mean, it is what it is on that. I mean, it's a team thing. It's a team punishment. So that's what the punishment was. But Poole came back like the next day. You know, it's preseason. He came back and balled out a little bit. So kind of showing that it didn't really affect him. I don't know how. I don't know how Poole and Draymond's relationship is going to be off the court, but I think on the court is going to be fine.
Okay.
They all had the same common goal to me, which is to win another championship.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be good.
Yeah, Mo, what do you think about the Jordan Poole? He hasn't apologized yet. What do you think about the Jordan Poole and Draymond physical altercation?
I can't respect. I honestly, to me, I can't respect the fact that Draymond was not suspended. I can't respect that. Like, I kind of lost some kind of respect, some kind of luster for Steve Kerr. Just looking at that tape, he tried to injure that man. That wasn't no normal punch like players with name. He walked up to that man and he swung like anybody who's been in a fight or seen stuff like that. He tried to go for that man's whole head, like his life. Like I didn't. In my view, for him not to be suspended, when you just take that as teammates being teammates, is just utterly unreal to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it was a PR move, that fact that he walked away. I think that was staged. I think they had a conversation. I don't think Draymond did that on his own. I think they sat down and said, walk away, make it look like we disciplined you, walk away and come back. But how he hit that man, if you not to suspend him in-house, if the NBA wasn't going to do anything, when you let him come back, it's basically saying you cool with that. That should be anybody can just steal their teammate, come back for a couple of days and come back. I just don't really respect that. I don't really like that. Another thing that threw me off is when they first said it happened, and I get everybody's not leaders, but I feel like for the money you're making, why is they saying that Kevin Looney and Iguodala was the only one speaking up and trying to make the move over the locker room? Like, I feel like Clay and Steph, you making all that money, we seen no statements from them. They're talking about Kevin Looney. Are we serious? Kevin Looney having conversations? It's like Iguodala, 38 years old. I understand he's been a veteran, he's been around, he's seen stuff in the locker room, but Clay and Steph been around too long for us to have no statement from them. And they talking about Iguodala and Kevin Looney, the ones. That's why I really feel like it was staged. I really feel like Kerr, Clay, and Steph and Draymond sat together and they said, take a break right quick and come back. Because it doesn't look right to me. It doesn't sit right with me for no statement from them, nothing said about them. And then Draymond leaves for a couple days, he comes back. It really doesn't sit well with me. Honestly, if it was just a regular stir, like they both touched each other, I might have a different response to this. But how the tape showed it, how Draymond came at him, I don't see how Poole stays on that team. Somebody got to go. Like, we just got to go to war the whole season. Like, I just don't see how that's just straight up forgiven and we just regularly step. I understand the business part of it. You don't want to sour relationships. You don't want to ruin the team. But somebody got to get traded. Either me or him got to go. I just can't like coexist with somebody who just tried to steal me on camera like that and try to fight me like that and just try to go at my neck like that. But to each his own. If that's how they want to curry it in house, if they forgive each other, dap each other up, that's on them. But that was just crazy to me. But I see it affecting the Warriors. I see just because think about it, it's always going to be said. Nobody's going to brush this under the rug. It's always going to be a media person putting a mic in their face. Yeah. If they go to losing streak, people always going to re-bring it up and be like, oh, do you think that fight affected y'all play and all that other stuff?
Yeah.
So I don't see the Warriors repeating. I mean, of course, I see them making a deep run, you know what I'm saying, making a run at it, but I don't see them repeating.
I had like this interesting thought on it, and that's why I brought it up. So, I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I'm a Q, and I'm not an NBA player, but I can relate to a brotherhood. I've seen some stuff like that, and just like how Everybody fights. I'm not excusing Draymond's behavior. I'm just saying that I can see how testosterone escalates. I do believe that, nowadays everything gets caught on camera, and it's because it's on camera, there's more accountability. So I do I don't have a problem with Jordan Poole not, talking to Draymond. But like Mo said, and Craig, you would probably agree, in order for them to state what you want them to do, right? Even though I had them I think 3 in the West to finish, they're gonna have to move past this because it can't linger on. Because you can't operate like that. You have to go to a resolution whether it's an apology, whether they just gotta talk man to man, and they gotta figure some stuff out. And that does not mean violence; it means just communicate with each other. But if they don't, it's gonna probably come back and hurt them in a season later, I think. So I think they should just get it out now, like Mo said, and address it. He doesn't have to accept his apology, but they do have to converse. They have to talk it out. Because that's the best way to see how everybody felt in the moment in the situation, so you can understand a person's perspective. That's what Draymond and Poole need to communicate. But I get it though. High testosterone, a lot of egos, but I think in order to move on, they have to, at least talk. At least the minimum of nonviolence communication. So, it is what it is. But I'm with you, Mo. If they don't figure it out, it's gonna seep. But they gotta figure it out now. I think.
I get everybody not a. I get some people just not leaders. Some people not boisterous. I get it, but I just feel like for how that happened and Clay and Steph not to say nothing, like neither one of them to say a statement, like, and just I'm hearing through the blogs and I heard through the NBA Today that Kevin Looney and Iguodala was the ones speaking up, and they're the ones like taking the forefront for trying to smooth over the locker room.
Well, they might be leaders, Mo.
I get that, but I more feel like, and I don't know if it would ever be said out in the open, I feel like Clay and Steph had a conversation with Steve Kerr and Draymond backdoor type conversation with like, oh, go take a break, go get away for a second, come back here and let's try to smooth it over instead of stepping out in the front of the locker room. I think they had a closed door meeting probably with Kerr, like, yo, this is a bad look. Slide away for a second, just back off from the team for a minute, come back. And if that comes find out, I don't like that. I can't respect that. I don't like that. Like you have backdoor meetings with Kerr to say, all right, slide away for a minute, but you can't come in front of the team to address it and say that was messed up. Like the tape, it's like we tell football teams, the tape don't lie. Like that tape don't lie. Like you try to really hurt that man. You try to really go at that man's whole head. Like that is, for me, that's just crazy. And I get it, James, I'm part of the group 5 groups of we in organizations, brothers have battles, fights, disagreements, but it's like to go at my head like that, and we don't have no, like, for you to go at my head like that, it's kind of different with their organization, but when you a team like that, your leaders should all go to the forefront, not have backdoor conversations or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was a backdoor conversation with Draymond for him to leave. Instead of suspending him, you said, oh, let him walk away for a little bit, cool his head off. We're gonna let him come back like everything hunky dory. I'm like, not at that kind of punch. There ain't no regular type of altercation.
Yeah. All right. So Mo, speaking about that, NFL. What's your NFL 5 recap? What stood out? Upsets. I know I called one. I feel good. I feel good.
Did I call the Dallas one? Or did I say Rams was gonna win? I don't think I called the Dallas, but
You might have picked the Cowboys.
I'm more worried about the Rams after the Dallas game than I was. I think our previous conversation said they lost to San Fran. We did the podcast. I was worried. I mean, more worried. Like they can't run the ball. They're struggling to protect, and you still seeing the fact that they're trying to force feed Cooper Kupp the ball. Like you seen him make that big play that he made. That's cool, but it seems like they're fully trying to force feed him. It seems like they're fully trying to force feed him, and they're not running a lot of stuff. Like last year, you had OBJ, you had the second receivers. Now it seems like a second receiver hasn't stepped up yet, so it's like a real struggle. And they look bad right now. They look real rough right now. Proud of a couple of teams. Had decent Watson. That's just Watson.
No comment, man.
Yeah.
Top 5 pick.
After what I just saw with Pittsburgh and Buffalo, I understand that was Buffalo. I think Pittsburgh about to have their first losing season under Mike Tomlin. I don't see them getting hot. I don't see no run. I see it being a rough. Yeah, they'll catch one or two teams by surprise because Pittsburgh on a good day.
Dude,
but I don't see no run. I don't see no run where they're gonna be a winning record.
They about to have a rough year.
I know we'll get to the Carolina thing. That it threw me off guard until Craig made his point until I read the article. I get it. Like now I looked at the record. I looked off the overall. I looked at the overall body of work. I'm like,
Man, you talking about if they don't score over 17 points, they don't win. Craig said that stat like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you was brought in as an offensive mind, and you done ran through all these quarterbacks in 2-3 years. Yeah, it's bad. The Denver game. I think did we talk about the Denver game? Just oh my god. The Denver Chiefs again. Monday night. We'll talk about Devontae Adams. I truly think he's gonna get suspended. I mean, it's a bye week now, so the NFL has time to review it.
Just fine him. A suspension. All right.
I mean, I think they're going to just fine him, but I think the only reason I think a suspension might happen because the dude was hurt. He actually pressed charges.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the dude said, I mean, I don't know if he's faking the injury or whatever, but they came out and said he had a concussion and other stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Overall, it sets up for good matchups now. Now we got Kansas City, Buffalo. Coming up this week, we got a couple of interesting matchups. I'm looking to see Minnesota. I'm looking to see if Minnesota's for real now. Like I'm looking to really see if they're gonna step over this hump because they already got a 1-game advantage over Green Bay. So it's like, you got the head-to-head already with them. You gotta face them again. After how we looked again against Tennessee, that was on Rivera. You blew you didn't have to challenge that. And also, my thing is you have 2 receivers. Yeah, they're not the tallest of receivers, but it ain't like Tennessee got world beaters at corner. You got 2 receivers you paid top tier money to. Why not flank both of them out and do a fade route where it's either out of bounds or it's a catch? You paying them like that. You paying them as number 1 receivers. If you can't run the ball, why not try to go do something for them to at least say, hey, go get your money? Like I just feel like the play calling has been terrible. Like the only reason right now, and people might laugh at this, the only reason I might say let the Rivera finish the season, I don't think I would even want the team to be under Scott Turner or Del Rio. Like I'm just like at this one, I'm like, well, bump it. Just let Rivera finish the season, clear house, because I wouldn't even like it to be under. Either both of them terrible. Just one glaring stat right quick. You were in that game. You never was behind until late in that game. But yet and still, you only ran the ball 12 times, and you only gave Gibson the ball 3 times. You ran the dude that just came off of being robbed and shot. You gave him the ball 9 times. Like, let's just make it make sense right quick. Like, let's really make it make sense. Like, Gibson, you drafted him, and you give him 3 carries. I had to ask a buddy of mine, is he hurt? I was like, is he hurt? Like, is he injured? How does he only get 3 carries?
Yeah.
Ain't like he fumbled. Ain't like he been fumbling this year. You only gave him 3 carries.
Yeah.
Like it's just you can't say the high hand because it wasn't like Robinson was running all that much better than Gibson was. So
it should have been the opposite. Should have been the opposite.
Yeah, it was.
Gibson should have got 10. You said 8 carries.
Nah, Robinson got 9 carries and Gibson
9
got 3
carries.
carries.
It should have been opposite. Gibson should have got 9.
Yeah, it was
Robinson
just
got. They should have. You know.
Like we know we've said it 1,000 times on the show. Wentz ain't a guy that's going to throw the ball 39 times a game every game and win you games throwing the ball, run the ball. But you keep doing it. It ain't like you getting behind in games. We doing it in games we even close. Like when we even close, we're doing it. Like we're just throwing the ball, and then we've gotten away from what we ran against Jacksonville week 1. Like I've seen none of that stuff of how we was using Samuels. We're not doing none of that stuff no more. I don't know why it is. Like that's why I really don't even trust Scott Turner to run anything. Like I'd rather at this point, I'd rather Rivera just finish the season than clear house and just clear all the house. Just start over.
Yeah. I get it. Well, my week 5 recap. New York, both New York teams are winning. Great for the NFL. We're gonna get to them a little later. The Packers are a very interesting team to me. I don't know what to make of them. I think Devontae really misses Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers really misses Devontae. I think I wish they would have stayed together because if they would, if the Packers had Devontae, I think they right now, I don't know if they would have lost the game. They would be the clear favorites in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl and win it. The clear favorites. If they had Devontae, I just think sometimes, you make choices in life, but I think them two had a really good connection. So Geno Smith is balling. Shout out to him, man. Russell Wilson is not. Not surprising though. I kind of figured that out. That Russell Wilson wasn't. I said the offense is going to be very slow. We're not going to see. I didn't think it was going to be this slow, but we're not going to see. We're going to see Russell Wilson play a lot better as the season progresses. That's what I believe. Will it be true? We don't know. We got the first firing. We're going to get to that later. There's no surprise to that. The Commanders, I get you, Mo. I understand. Ron Rivera, but it starts with the ownership. It starts up top. As long as we have that owner, we won't have a good football team. That's a fact. Man, that was a great weekend of football. The Ravens, man, let me tell you something. That was a good Super Bowl pick I picked. Because they should have beat Buffalo. They're a good team, yo. The Ravens are a good team, and Lamar, right now, they're gonna have to pay him a lot of money. But that was a good recap. That was a good week 5 recap. That was a good week 5. So another thing. Okay, I'm gonna let Craig go after this. We knew the NFC, right? I'm sorry, the NFC is a lot of 2 and 3 teams, right? But the AFC South, we didn't know it was gonna be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like the Tennessee's leading the division again. It's so shocking. And then the NFC West, you got 3 teams that are 2 and 3. So this is going to be, very interesting, man. And it's just, I love it. This is the parody of the NFL. It's the parody, and I love it. You got Minnesota 4-1, and Green Bay 3-2. So Craig, week 5 recap. What stood out?
Well, I know last week we said teams who should hit the panic button and all that, what teams and all that. And I had 3 teams that were sitting at 2-2 that I didn't think should hit the panic button, but should have their finger ready to hit the panic button, or maybe somebody going towards it, and that was the
Yeah.
Rams, the Ravens, and the Broncos. And
Oh, only one made it out.
the Ravens, I mean, Ravens defense,
Golly.
I'm still not convinced. I thought
But they made it out the panic room.
I mean, well, yeah, for now. I mean, their defense finally showed up, and the defense finally held. Even though the offense struggled in the second half, like they have been, the defense showed up at least. The Rams, I said it last week, and same thing with the Broncos. Their offense just looks horrible. Neither team can run the ball.
Yeah.
The Broncos could run the ball a little bit when they had Javante and they had Melvin Gordon. Now they don't have Javante anymore, so now they're kind of leaning on Gordon and who's the backup there? I can't remember. Philip Lindsay. Oh no, not Philip Lindsay. Boone. So they're having to deal with that, and I forgot Lindsay used to be on there, but so now
they wish they had him now.
Yeah, now they're having to deal with that. And both offenses just look horrible. I couldn't even watch that Colts Broncos game. I
didn't watch it.
Then after
I didn't watch it.
Like midway through the second quarter, and I knew it was just not going to be any touchdowns or just going to be just a defensive game. I just pretty much just turned it off. I couldn't watch it. It was that boring of a game to me. But the Colts got the win. It was pretty much a needed game for both teams. But man, that was a tough game to watch.
Tough.
Yeah, like you said, the Giants and the Jets both look pretty decent, especially the Giants. I had my reservations about both teams, and I still do. Like I don't know what's going to happen here. The Giants do have an easier schedule. But the coach got them looking really, really good. I think that win over Green Bay, even though it wasn't a true road game, still you beat the Packers. You came back and beat the Packers. So, and I think they were down like 17-3 or something like that, or whatever it was. So
yeah, they were down like 17.
They were down pretty big in that game, and then they were down 20-10 at halftime. And they held the Packers to just 2 points in the second half of safety, and that was at the end of the game. So, hats off to the Giants and the Jets. They beat. Obviously, they didn't play Tua. And then they also didn't play Teddy really in that game. So it's unfortunate that the Dolphins start out 3-0 and then Tua gets hurt against the Bengals and then they lose Teddy Bridgewater early in the game. They have to go to the third quarterback. So, I think the Dolphins are way better than their 3-2 record, or not way better, but I think they're better than their 3-2 record. But it's just unfortunate that the quarterback had to get hurt. So 2 quarterbacks. The Lions just look. I was high on the Lions, and I was really low on the Patriots, and I'm still high. I'm still low on the Patriots. The Lions just couldn't do anything in that game. I thought they would at least play a lot bit
crazy.
Better.
They didn't do nothing.
After you like your top 2, top 3 in the league in scoring, that's tough. The Vikings still. Like they just find a way. They find ways to win games. They should have lost to the Lions. Could have lost to this Bears team, and they just found ways to win. They just found ways to win. Like last year, so many close games for them last year, and they couldn't really. They didn't win a lot of those games. And then this year, they're finding ways to win those games. I think they should be a lot better than what they are as far as like how they look. And not having to come back or be down 14-0 like they were to the Lions, or having to come back in this game against the Bears, but they're winning games. So the Bucks look terrible. That was a horrible call. That gave the Bucks a first down. Roughing the passer calls in the NFL are horrible. Like
ridiculous.
I don't know what you can do. I mean, I know what you can do. You can stop babying these quarterbacks. And I get it. Like they're the star of the team. They're the highest paid.
That Chris Jones call was ridiculous.
They're what a lot of people go out and pay their money for to go to the stadium to see or put on TV. They're pretty much the face of the franchise. And I get it. But at some point, like you had to stop, like coddling and babying these quarterbacks. Like you might as well, like that. That was one of the most ridiculous calls in that Falcons Bucks game that I think I've ever seen. He didn't do anything. I don't know what to do. And then if you're 300 pounds, 320 pounds, or whatever. Like, what are you supposed to do? You're coming at a guy full speed. You're supposed to stop in like two hands. You might as well just put a red jersey on everybody, on every quarterback, and say you just two-hand touch the quarterback at this point because you can't tackle him. And I mean, it's hard coming full speed and trying to tackle him, basically pick him up and put him on the ground softly and gently, so that way you don't get a flag. Like, that's crazy. The Raiders Chiefs one had, like, the guy sacked him but took the ball out of his hand,
Crazy.
hand. That should have been a turnover.
I thought it was a turnover when I seen it. I was like, oh, it's a wrap.
They get a stupid roughing the passer call. Like, I don't know what they're supposed to do. I'm glad that they're trying to revamp these rules or look at them, and I'm all for player safety and everything like that. But it's at a certain point, like, something has to give. Like, you can't. It's just, I mean, I get it. It's not the 80s anymore, not the 90s, but man, these quarterbacks just get babied. So I'm hoping that they redo the rules and enforce, like, at least maybe have it reviewable, because I mean, I don't want to sit back and review every single call, whatever it is, but man, it's just something has to be done about this.
Rich Eisen said, do it in New York.
Something has to be done. Like, you can't.
You should do it in New York.
15-yard penalties. I mean, that maybe if they don't get that call, maybe the Falcons go down and win that game.
Yeah.
So that pretty much took the Falcons from possibly being 3-2, leading the division, to 2-3, and the Bucs at 3-2. So the Cowboys look really good. Their offense. I know Cooper Rush only had 100 yards passing, but the defense is what's getting this team to 4-1, or what's got this team to 4-1. So they look really good, and I mean, the Chiefs just keep rolling, and the Raiders just find ways to lose games again. Like, they're just finding more ways to lose games. They had that game. Well, what pissed me off late in that first half, when they were up 20-10, or no, they were up 17-10, and they just seemed like they started slowing down and starting to settle for a field goal instead of trying to score for a touchdown. And I was like, you're playing the Chiefs on the road. You have to put up as many points as possible.
You have to.
For 3. At some point in time, you got to try to put your foot on. Like, you have Devontae out there, just try to use him. At least throw the ball up. Maybe you get a pass interference call or something like that. But they settled for the 3, and then the second half, I don't mind them going for the 2, just like I didn't mind Jim Harbaugh going for the touchdown on 4th down. I didn't mind them going for the 2 in this game because
you had to.
Like, so if they were playing the Texans, I'd be like, okay, go. I think you can beat that team in overtime or whatever. But they're playing the Chiefs, so But overall, man, the Raiders just made some horrible decisions in that game to me. But it was a great week in football as usual. Not as many like nail biter games as we've seen the previous couple of weeks, but
it
was still some really good games out there.
Yeah, it was some good games, man. That roughing the passers just getting out of control though.
It's ridiculous.
People keep playing that clip from ESPN First Take when Kevin Hart was on there, and they were like, "How do you fix?"
That's what it is. That's basically how you do these quarterbacks nowadays. You can't land on him or something. It's like, how are you supposed to land on the guy? I don't know. Not every sport, but pretty much every sport has. I get it for safety and everything like that. Like, but man, it's just like sometimes
it's crazy.
Something has to be done about some of these calls in here, and I can understand.
I like Rich Eisen idea that you go to New York.
I understand that the refs are just doing what basically what the rule kind of says, or trying to.
That Atlanta joint was
as good as possible, but man, it's just some calls are just more egregious than others.
Yeah. So. All right. Who did the recap? Mo did. Oh, all right. Matt Rhule's been fired. We knew that was going to happen. Probably too late for some people. Could have been sooner. All right. Shout out to Mo. He wanted him fired after the first play of the first week. Listen. But here's the thing. If the Carolina's owner, who would you hire as the next coach? And would you keep Baker Mayfield? Of course, we have a wonderful Carolina fan in here. I'm gonna ask you, Greg, if you're the owner, you know, who would you like to see as the next coach? And would you, what would you do with Baker Mayfield?
Hey, let me just say this. This is a great day to me to be a they finally got rid of this guy, man. He's been a joke since day one.
Yep. Yep.
Not all college coaches are cut out for the NFL. Now there are a couple of them that I think could make it. There are a couple of them that have made it, but Matt Rhule he's overpaid and he just wasn't good. Like he just wasn't good enough. And
the hell of a contract.
It went this long. I mean they saw what he did at Baylor. They saw him turn that program around. They're like, okay, we can do that here. But it's just like sometimes you just can't bring your college philosophies and college whatever you had going on down there to the NFL. It just doesn't transfer. It doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So being 11-27 as a coach, he started out 3-0 last season, and then ever since he's 3-16. So I mean, he has the lowest winning percentage in the Panthers history at a 289. I mean, I looked it up and they said that out of 289 coaches, he's ranked at 260. With a minimum of 30 games coached. So I mean, we always talked about how he's 1-27 in games, 17 plus points to 25 straight losses.
That's crazy.
I think that's like right now that's 4th all time. So I don't know if
4th all time
break the record, but I whatever. But I mean, this team had to do something because they haven't had a winning coach since. They haven't had a winning season since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
That Rhule just been through too many quarterbacks there. I mean, the team is just horrible. They're last in total yards, the 28th in total passing offense, 27th in rushing offense. I mean, they're 25th in points. They're last in the red zone. Excuse me, I take that back. They're 27th in the red zone efficiency. They're last in third down, last in first downs per game, last in third down conversion rate. I said that already. They're last in time possession. You're last in possession. You're last in QBR. It's just. I mean, it had happened. I'm glad it happened because he was just in where his head. I think this when you look at when I looked at the game, it was so many fans in red, like scarlet or whatever the colors are for the 49ers in the stands, more so, or maybe like kind of the same amount as the Panthers fans. It tells you Panthers fans are selling the tickets, or they're just not buying tickets to this game. And 49ers fans are traveling well and they're getting the tickets. And it seemed like it was more 49ers fans there than Panthers fans.
That's a sign. Trust me, as a Commanders fan, I know.
That basically tells me that fans are disappointed and they're fed up with this, and they made their voice. As Panthers fans, we made our voice loud and clear. So we don't want any more Matt Rhule, and we don't want to see another. I don't want to see another
college
coach unless it's Harbaugh. That's the only one I would see just because he has previous success.
Yeah,
I don't really see him leaving Michigan. So
I don't think so.
For that, as far as coaches goes, like obviously Sean Payton is the number one, but he's still under contract. He's still until 2024. So, and I just don't see the Saints.
He might mess around, take 2 years. Yeah,
I don't see the Saints trading him, especially to a team in the division, and then you're going to have to pay him a lot and give up a lot probably to get him.
Yeah,
so, I mean, you're already paying Matt Rhule. You still owe him $40 million. So imagine how much you're going to have to pay Sean Payton. So for that, I don't see that happening. But I mean, he'd probably be my number one choice. I think the OC for the Eagles. I think what he's done up there so far in Philly, Sean Stecken. I don't know how to say his last name, but the job he's done with this Eagles team. He's starting to get Sanders the ball a lot more. They're starting to run a little bit more plays for him. Obviously, you have a running quarterback, a mobile quarterback, and if he can come in and get his guy, especially if the Panthers are picking top 2, top 3, or whatever it is, which seems like they might be, he can get his quarterback. Whoever's going to come in next is going to have. I mean, I would assume they're going to get. That's
they're
why
gonna
I would like an offensive coordinator or offensive minded head coach to come in, because you want to coach up a quarterback that's going to be yours that you drafted in this draft coming up. So I'm hoping that somebody on the offensive side. I like Eric Bieniemy, obviously the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That is opportunities to be a head coach, I believe, and he's interviewed and everything like that, but he hasn't gotten it. So I don't know why, but I'm hoping that, you know, if he does interview for this job. Actually, he did interview for this job, I believe, and he didn't get it. I think they got Matt Rhule. Whatever. So, and then I got Ken Dorsey for the Bills OC.
Oh, okay.
I like what he's done, obviously, with Josh Allen. Obviously, the running back is better here with Carolina, but he has better receivers, better weapons. But I think what he can do as far as game plan, I think he'll be good. Shane Waldron, the Seahawks OC, former protege of Sean McVay.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? You know, I like Sean McVay. I like his offensive mind.
Yeah.
Shane Waldron. And what Shane Waldron has done, like, I thought this team was dead in the water. They're 2-3, but they're competing in a lot of games.
Game. Yeah.
Geno Smith is playing well. Geno Smith looks like
the baller.
It's like Russell Wilson or something like that. They're not even missing Russell Wilson. So I like what he's done out there, and I think he'd be a really good coach. And he's pretty young. So, and also I like Mike Kafka for the Giants. He's done a lot up there with kind of the same terrible talent. They have a running back, they have a young line, and they have
a running back and a left tackle.
I think Carolina's receivers are better. At least DJ Moore to me is better than anybody on that Giants team. But
and Bobby Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, but they haven't really used them as much. And
but they're better than any Giant receiver.
Yeah, they are. So I think if he can come here and what he's done there, he can bring that here bring that to Carolina. I think they'll be good. Baker Mayfield, nope. Sorry, he's done. I don't want to see him anymore. I don't even care if he comes back the rest of the season. I'd rather just have the Panthers play PJ Walker, and then when Sam comes back, play him or whatever. I don't want to see. I'm done. The Baker Mayfield project or Baker Mayfield experiment is over. 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You're averaging 192 yards a game. Now, your completion percentage is 55%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Your QBR is 16.
Yeah.
Passer rating is around 72, and you're averaging 6.3 yards per pass. That's enough for me. Like these are all Baker Mayfield career lows at this point. He's never played this bad. Now, some of that could be on the team, some of that could be the coaching, some of that could be Baker Mayfield. I think it's a combination of all three. But at the end of the day, Matt Rhule got himself fired, but Baker Mayfield didn't help him. Baker Mayfield pretty much caused. He added on to it, stockpiled onto it to help him get fired, basically.
And he didn't he's not helping his career.
He's out 2 6 weeks. So he's not coming back for a while. Which is good, I guess. Maybe under Steve Wilkes sucks. Let me just say that. They got rid of Phil Snow. Phil Snow wasn't doing it. He sucks. Phil Snow wasn't doing anything good. He was Matt Rhule's right-hand man. I'm glad he's going to. Fritterer is not safe. The GM, he was there. He got hired last year. He's not safe. Temporarily safe. He's not safe. So who knows?
Who said he's not safe?
He didn't say he was. He just said he'll see or something like that. To that.
No. Who? Tapper.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll probably be gone if I was him.
The GM could be gone. The OC could be gone. They just hired him last year. McAdoo, he could be gone. Like, they might just do it and do a clean house and just let whoever they want to hire come in and
build it.
The staff's going to be. Yeah. Now, I as far as defensive guys go, I do like Ryans from the 49ers, but like I said, I don't really want a defensive guy.
D'Amico?
Be good. Yeah. I forgot Byron Leftwich as well.
I'm about to say, I can't believe you didn't say him.
Because I think he needs an opportunity. At least
he's ready too.
So that's another guy. But yeah, man, like I said, this was a long time coming. I'm glad it came. I wouldn't go out right now. I know there's conflicting reports about trading Christian McCaffrey or not, or has there been talks about trading him? Some people say yeah, some people say no. I'm hoping that they don't, just because I want to let the new coach come in, And if the new coach wants to trade him before the
that's
draft,
been weird, man.
then cool. Go ahead and trade him for the draft. Get some picks or whatever it is, because they're missing some picks for next year's draft. But if he doesn't want to trade him or Moore or Burns, cool. Just let him work with this, because I mean they have their those guys are all young. Let them develop with the new coach coming in, see what happens. But if you want to just go ahead and trade them, I have no problem with them trading Christian McCaffrey anymore or DJ Moore. But
Yeah,
I
seems like I just keep hearing,
I just wanted to happen after the season, just to give the new coach coming in an opportunity
to work with.
Okay, yeah, I want this guy, or no, I don't want this guy. I want somebody else. But yeah, man, that's how I feel about it.
I wouldn't trade.
I wouldn't trade just yet. I mean, Steve Wilkes is trash. He went 3-13.
Yeah, he's
Cardinals.
y'all gonna have the first pick.
He had Josh Rosen on that team and all that.
Y'all gonna have the first pick.
That was this guy that he picked. But man,
y'all gonna have the first pick.
He's garbage.
Y'all gonna have the first pick.
I don't see him winning another game for a while. Maybe they'll beat the Falcons. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I don't either.
I ain't gonna lie to you. So with me, Matt Rhule getting fired is no surprise. We already know he was a bad head coach. They shouldn't have hired him in the first place. And they still owe him $40 million, so he gets to chill. Probably coach college next year. I think he's a great college coach. I think he'll get another job. I think he's phenomenal. I just think the NFL's a different level. That's it. It's a different level, man. But he's still gonna be a good. You could be a phenomenal college head coach, to be a bad NFL head coach. That happens a lot. That's okay. If I'm the owner, Carolina, Craig, I'm cleaning house. GM gotta go. Everybody has to go. Right now, it looks like I'm gonna have the first pick. I'm probably gonna hire. To be honest with you, I'm probably gonna hire Leftwich. He'll probably have a GM in mind, or a higher GM that's looking for offensive minded head coach. I just want the GM and the head coach to be on the same page. And probably gonna get. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all can't screw this up. But I like CJ Stroud, man. So hopefully y'all can draft him and still have Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore and Bobby Anderson and a decent head coach. And I think you could. I don't know if it'll turn around in a year, but I think y'all could be a good team again. That's what I would do. Baker Mayfield. Man, Chris Bouchard said it. I'm not going to go this hard. I don't agree with this. He said Baker Mayfield's not going to be in the NFL after this year. I was like, I think that's too much. He says because of the drama that he brings. He said he could be a backup to a superstar quarterback, but he can't be a backup to like Justin Fields or just because of the way he acts. I don't think so. I think that at this point he knows that he's not a starter in the league. He'll get another shot. The NFL is about second chance, except for Kaepernick. But the NFL is about second chances. So I think he'll go sit, and another opportunity will come up, and then he will try to start again. But with Baker Mayfield, he had his chance. He's not even listen. It's not like it's not like Jared Goff, right? Where he had one bad game against the Patriots, but his other games, his numbers are good. He's throwing 4 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. Craig, he has all career lows. So it's not like he's out there balling. If Baker Mayfield was balling and y'all were losing, you'd be like, all right, let's see if we can, I don't know if I'm gonna bring him back. And listen, if Baker Mayfield was balling and y'all didn't bring him back and y'all get CJ Stroud, that's okay. Because Baker Mayfield, another team is going to take a shot on him because he was balling. But now we see why the trade market was kind of dry for him. Maybe we see why. maybe teams saw things that we didn't see, where they saw the proof in the pudding. And they were like, man, we're not touching Baker Mayfield. He's not as good as what he let off to be. So, I think he'll get another shot. I think he'll be okay. I think he needs to heal up. And, I think Carolina will be out. But I think they get C.J. Stroud, offensive-minded head coach, same GM head coach, and then rock on from there. And don't trade Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. Now, if the new GM comes in and says, hey, now this year they want to do it, or next year to get, draft picks, then I think that's okay. But, you want to get an offensive rookie quarterback enough weapons as possible. And having Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore, to me, and Bobby Anderson is phenomenal. But go ahead, Mo. You know about Matt Rhule. He's been fired. You're Carolina owner. You're right now. You're Tepper. What you doing, man? Who you hiring for the next head coach? And what you doing with Baker Mayfield?
I'm gonna throw some names out there for you. I don't think he would leave to take this job because of the type of job, but Eric Bieniemy, I think it's time for him to have a job.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he would leave Kansas City for this job. Like, I don't know, unless like you said, with this quarterback class being so rich, unless you got him here early to be able to evaluate and truly he can pick his guy to build around McCaffrey and DJ Moore and others there, I think it might be intriguing, because the fan base in Carolina, as seen, will go hard if you're winning and if you're showing that you want to win. Just look how it was when Cam was there. Like, the fan base shows that it will go hard.
Your cousin Wardy loves in Carolina.
Yeah. So I think him, Leftwich, and I would throw a wild card out there to you. I've looked at him from afar the last couple of weeks, watching him coach defense. D'Amico Ryans in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a hot name if San Francisco continues to play well. I think he's going to be a name out there.
He was a great NFL player too.
Yeah, he definitely was. Baker won't be there next year. They might let him finish the season for whatever reason. I would almost go to PJ Walker and I don't want to say tank, but I might go to PJ Walker and let the chips fall where it may at this point. He can't get no worse. You know what I'm saying? So it's just definitely going to be interesting to see how this season's going to end. And the pieces going to fall.
They're going to have the number one pick. What you mean? Has Carolina won a game, Craig? Yeah, Carolina's won a game, right?
Everybody, yeah.
It's gonna be. I mean, I think it's gonna be C.J. Stroud. It's definitely be C.J. Stroud. Especially with what's his name's injury. Bryce Young's injury. I mean, let's see how he comes back and if he can come back and like really take over games and stuff like that. Then it might be a race for it. But right now, I would say it's gonna be C.J. Stroud being the number one pick. I think Carolina will probably take him over Bryce Young. I think especially the personality you might need in an area like Carolina. I think Stroud might be the better personality, better person for that type of.
Stroud is a great leader.
Yeah, I think even personality. No disrespect to Bryce Young personality, but I think Stroud's personality fits more with what Carolina's going to want there. You know what I'm saying? As far as energy and stuff like that.
I think Stroud's going to be a really good quarterback.
So it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm not surprised by the move. It got worse. It's like you might as well do it now. There's no need for the fans. There's no need to make this drag out more. Like it was just going to be a drag show for the rest of the season because of how bad it was getting. It wasn't like it was close games being lost, like getting blown out. The fans in the stands starting to leave. Like it just was a total disaster. So it's like might as well just put out the fire now instead of letting it burn. Instead of letting it burn the whole house. You might as well only because it already burned half the house. Instead of letting it burn the whole house, it was like might as well just go ahead and put it out now and just see what we're gonna be. Whatever we're gonna be the rest of the season, what you're gonna be. So I have no problem with the move, but I think Baker, honestly, gonna be at a crossroads where Baker after this, Baker either going to be a career backup or he's going to retire. I just don't now.
Damn, that's the same thing Chris Broussard said. He was
I can't see Baker starting nowhere unless somebody get injured.
Yo,
I
you
can
can't
see.
him taking the
I,
Mitch
I,
Trubisky route and like
I
learning.
can't see. Well, not. All right, let's say this. Not next year. I don't see him starting nowhere next year unless somebody get hurt. Like he be somebody bring him in as a veteran backup as a backup, but where would he go right now? What team can we pick in the NFL right now? He can go and we say he got a legitimate chance to start. Like even Chicago. I mean, does he start over Justin Fields? Because Justin Fields might not even be there next year. You know what I'm saying? So
I hope they would. I would hope they would let go of Justin Fields.
I do too.
They should have never hired a defensive minded head coach, but whatever. But yeah, I agree, Mo.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. First 6 weeks of the NFL season. Yeah. Contender or pretender? What's up? So we got Dallas, the Giants, the Minnesota, and the NFC. The AFC was a little bit more difficult. I'm not gonna lie, because it's it's kind of not. I don't want to say even, but the AFC, it's a lot more. You can almost tell who's who for real in the AFC. For real. It's almost so I was like, let me see. So I have the Tennessee Titans, the New York Jets, and the LA Chargers. So I'm gonna start this one off. Contender or pretender? Dallas Cowboys. They're a contender. I hate to say it. Their defense is phenomenal. They have one of the best defenses in the league. They're running the ball. If they're playing like this when Dak comes back, to be honest with you, they might lose Dan Quinn, but Mike McCarthy, you have to give him another shot. He's proved a lot of people wrong in his coaching. Cooper Rush has proved me wrong, a lot of people wrong. I thought they were going down, but Cooper Rush has been able to keep them up. I don't know if he's going to win at Philly. We got to determine that. And who you got later. Yeah, you already know what that time it is. So I kind of like Dallas as a contender, and I'm a Commanders fan, but I love the game of football so much that I don't discount what I see. Some It's nothing wrong with that, but some people are so engaged with fans Dallas still sucks. Yeah, but they're 4-1 with a top 3 defense, and they're playing really good. They're running the ball, so I think they're a contender. The New York Giants, pretender. I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I don't think they're that good. Now, what I do think about the Giants, and I do think they're good, is they had a perfect hire for head coach. I think he's getting the most out of that. I think Saquon Barkley, they're going to have to pay a lot of money. I think their left tackle is bomb. I think they have a great defensive line. But I think that he's gonna get the most out of this Giants, and they're not gonna have a top 10 pick. They might go like 9-8, 8-9, and have the great building blocks for next year. And who knows? Maybe they'll get a Jimmy Garoppolo, and that'll be I think that'll be a good fit for him. Jimmy in New York, because he has a defense. He'll have a running game. He'll have some receivers. He'll fit right in to what they want to do, and he doesn't make mistakes. So that's what I can see. But I can just see the Giants. I can see the Giants being a pretender at this point. Minnesota Vikings. I think they're contenders. I have them making the playoffs. They're 4-1 right now. They win a lot of close games like they did last year. They're just winning them. This is going to be a team I'm going to have to keep my eye on during the season when they play teams over 500. And Kirk Cousins does not play good on Monday night or primetime games. So it's going to be interesting to see him play in the playoffs. It's going to be interesting. So Boom. AFC, Tennessee Titans, contender, pretender. Pretender. Very much pretender. I don't think that they're hanging on by a thread. They haven't beat any good teams. They're not a good team. They're just we're winning a bad division. This division reminds me of the NFC East last year, the year before. It's just not a good team in there. It's not at all, you know? They're pretenders. New York Jets, they're 3-2. Listen, I love it. Both New York football teams are on the list. I love it. I can only imagine this is gonna be a great. They've got drafted great rookies. They have great building blocks. They have a great head coach, but they are a pretender. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I would not pick them. I think that they going forward next year, we're gonna see where they're at, and I like it. LA Chargers, contender. I listen. They're winning games right now with the roster that they have. They're hurt. They'll be good. Brandon Staley. Did you know I learned about this stat? Did you know Brandon Staley, every time that he goes for it, he's 7-0 in the fourth quarter? Hey, it's working for him. So continue it, and that's who I got. Mo, I'm gonna list these teams, man. You gotta let me know the contender, pretender, and why. Dallas Cowboys.
Contender. Contender. I mean, because of their defense, they're being balanced. They're going back to what won them games and what got them, what got them good in a couple of years ago. Run the ball, play action. The keys are going to be is can they handle the pressure of when Dak come back. And I'm going to say this right now. I think them beating Philly could be the greatest and the worst thing for them, because you beat Philly, Dak comes back, and Cooper Rush, 5-0 will be 5-0 as a quarterback this season, and now you go to Dak with a 5-1 record, all the pressure in the world will be on them. They'd be like, people will look at Dallas like, if you don't win the division after starting 5-1, what just happened? Like, how did that happen? Like, you start 5-1, that be, watch this. Not only would it be 5-1, but you would be 5-1 and you would start off 3-0 in division. And so for you to start off 5-1 and 3-0 in division and not win the division, that's going to be a tough thing to say. How did this happen? So I definitely say Dallas is contender.
All right, now New York Giants, contender or pretender?
I think pretender. I think they're better than what they were last year. I just don't think Daniel Jones will sustain his success. I don't know. I'm still going to question if Saquon Barkley can stay healthy over a whole season. And that O-line has struggled at times. So as the competition gets a little stiffer as the season goes along, will they hold up? It's been a great story. It's been an excellent story. And to be honest with you, right now I might have Dayball as like my number one coach of the year. Definitely top two. Because who none of us saw the Giants 4-1 to start the season.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? At all. Like, none of us could sit here and say we thought the Giants would be 4-1.
No.
So I would say pretender. But I definitely would say pretender only because I just don't believe in Daniel Jones. And it's not even Daniel Jones. I think after a while that lack of talent at receiver and lack of talent on the offensive line is going to hurt you. Like, Saquon's not going to be able to carry you a whole season like this, where Daniel Jones can just play regular football like this.
All right, your team, Minnesota Vikings. I already know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, contender, man. It's defense. If Dalvin Cook can continue to play well, offensively, man, you got Jordan Jefferson, Thielen. I like the offensive flow. I think they're going to be a force to reckon with. Once again, it's going to go on Kirk Cousins. I think this is going to be this every year has been important for him in Minnesota. I think this year, now that you got a new coach, a lot of people kind of blamed it on Zimmer, and I was hearing First Take, one of the First Take articles or one of the First Take segments on my way home, and they was talking about that. They was talking about Minnesota and Green Bay and who they think win the North, and they brought up the point that they think the difference now between Zimmer and O'Connell, the dude who's coaching them now, is he's able to bring the best out of them. He's able to rally the troops. Yeah, he's able to rally the troops and get them to come up and play for him and finish for him. And Zimmer wasn't able to get that out of them. So I think
I like Zimmer too. Anyway, Tennessee Titans.
You said Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Contender.
He had to make me say.
I mean, just. I mean, no talent at receiver really. I mean, no disrespect. I mean, Burks is a good young rookie. I don't know if he's still hurt. I know he didn't play against us. But I just think that offensive line being beat up as it is. Derrick Henry might not be able to sustain certain stuff, and then you really look at it, and then you look at it, Tannehill. I mean, I just don't trust Tannehill, especially when you don't have weapons around him. Yeah. Because we seen what he's done with no weapons. With weapons. So without weapons, I just don't. What happens now when he got to go out there and win a game because Derrick Henry might get shut down. When you got a team that might go 11 in the box, 10 in the box, 8 in the box, 9 in the box, and he got to win the game for you. Can he throw it? So I'm gonna say pretender.
All right. New York Jets. JETSSS.
I'm gonna say pretender. Just because of the division or the AFC overall, and then the division, and then they're young. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to give a lot of people run for their money. They're going to be more of a spoiler at the end. They're going to hurt some people's records and some people's seedings. When they play people over the season, but I just don't see them sustaining this overall. I think they'll end up winning. They're almost at their win total from last season. Had they passed it already? They're almost at their win total from last year, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think they won 4 games last year.
Yeah.
So they're almost at the win total. I think they'll surpass it. Yeah, I think they'll surpass their win total from last year, but I don't see them sustaining this overall. Like you said, I love their talent. I think you got the young receiver Garrett Wilson, you got Bryce Hall, you got the other running back they drafted the year before from North Carolina. You got Zach Wilson, you got a lot of young talent on defense.
Elijah Moore, they got.
I think the big boy, what they lost, and people got to think the big boy lineman they drafted 2 years ago got hurt.
Quentin Williamson.
The big boy from Louisville, what's his name? My bad. Big boy. He'll come to me eventually.
Beckham.
Yeah. He got hurt for the season during the preseason, I think.
Yeah.
So you gotta look at it when hopefully he come back next year healthy. This team's on the rise, but I just think this season is not there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they drafted phenomenal. All right, LA Chargers.
Are we allowed for a push?
No. Yes or no, man.
Man.
No pushes. In the words of Craig,
all right.
No pushes this year.
All right.
He's going hard.
I'm gonna say pretender because of the coach.
Oh, all right.
I'm saying that strictly on the coach, not the talent. I just and I'm saying that because if you look at the AFC right now, the Chiefs gonna catch fire. The Chiefs already got a game up on them. Then you look at the rest of the AFC, like we just said that Cincy could be a team that catch fire. I don't think Baltimore's going nowhere. You look at now, the North, you're gonna get 2 teams. The South, okay, you're only gonna get 1 team out of the South. The East, you gonna get 2 teams out of the East. I see Miami and Buffalo going to playoffs. So I just see the Chargers. It's gonna come down to coaching. Do they get in?
Yeah. Hey, the Chiefs are telling everybody this year, y'all must have forgot. Yeah. I did. I picked them I didn't forget the Chiefs. I didn't forget them. All right, Craig. Contender or pretender? Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys are definitely a contender. I think I thought they would be pretty well off even without Dak Prescott for this because they had the schedule was easy. But I don't know if I don't think I had them winning all 4 of these games. I thought they might lose at least to the Rams. At least I think I had them losing that game and to the Bengals. But I thought overall, I thought they would come out before the bye week and have a really good start to the season. Their defense is what is helping this team basically get to this 4-1 record. Cooper Rush has played well enough to make plays and to get him in position, but the defense is really good. So I think they're holding teams to like 13 points. So in these last 4 games. So and they haven't even the first game of the season, they only gave up 19. They haven't given up more than 19 points this whole season. So they got a big test coming up this week with against Philly. So I don't think Dak's playing that game, or I
don't think so. I wouldn't bring him back.
I could see. I mean, maybe if they were 2-3 or 1-4, I could understand it. But there's really no need to bring him back yet. But I do think Dallas is definitely a contender. Once they get Dak back, and if they can get back into the flow, it might take a couple games, and you might have people saying, "Well, let's go ahead and throw Cooper Rush out there." But I think that would be,
I think they have Detroit after Philly. They have Detroit and Chicago, which are 2 really good games for Dak to be back.
That's just a bunch of noise to me when you have all that going on. So I do expect Dak to come back. I kind of expect him to struggle a little bit, but I eventually.
It's all good to go against the Lions. I swear that's a good team.
I expect rhythm and getting this team back offensively, because I mean the first game he only put up 3 points, but Dallas is definitely a contender.
Yeah. All right, New York Giants.
Pretender. I'm not a big fan of I understand that if we're talking about to make the playoffs, I can understand. If we're talking about Super Bowl, no. Playoffs, possibly, just because their schedule is so easy. And I thought they had a chance to win some of these games. But some of these games have been close, like the game against the Packers, the game against the Panthers, the Titans game. Like they've had some close games. Now they still have to play Dallas, they still have to play Philly. Basically, they still have to play every team in their division. So once that happens, then who knows what's going to happen? Because I mean, you can't even count division games. Well, they lost to the Cowboys, I should say. They lost by a touchdown, but they still have 5 more games in the division. So those games, you think you're going to win the games, but I mean, because you're better than them, but it's a division game. You never know what's going to happen. So, but I'm not a big fan of Daniel Jones. I did praise the offensive coordinator, what he's done. I praised, Brian DeBall of how great a job he's done. Saquon looks really good. And they made pretty much something out of nothing with this whole offensive unit because they don't have any wide receivers. But they're still towards the bottom in points per game. Offense is still, as far as passing offense, is still near the bottom. But they're playing well. I think this is a big test for them coming up this week against the Ravens. It's going to probably, if they win this game, I might change my mind as far as. I won't change my mind as far as them being a Super Bowl contender, but as far as being a playoff contender, yeah, I definitely change my mind on that. But I still got them at a pretender. They're not that good.
They're not, man. They're not, and it's okay. Minnesota Vikings, contender or pretender?
I got them at a pretender. Like I think their offense is good enough if they can get all the pieces together. The problem is that I don't really believe. I like Kirk Cousins, but I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big believer in Kirk Cousins when the pressure's on, and when he gets to the playoffs, that's when the pressure's on. So, he's got a couple wins there and whatever, but and when he needs to get to he's never been to the conference finals, the NFC Championship game. So their defense, the defense is ranking, I think they're like 24th or 25th in total yards against. So their defense hasn't been, and I mean they went out and got some pieces on defense who I thought were going to come in and be a lot better as far as, but maybe it's taking them a little bit more time to actually gel, and it's kind of showing out there on the field a little bit. And I mentioned this earlier about them having to come back in some of these games. They were down 14-0 to the Lions. Had to come back to win that game, and they did it with under a minute to go and won the game against the Bears, a team that they should just destroy. Had a struggle that game. The Bears came back and almost won that game. And I mean, I can't really put too much stock into the win against the Packers because the Packers, they're not the same team, and they destroyed the Packers last season. So in the game they played in Minnesota. So I'm not really putting a lot of stock into that. But I think if they get a couple more wins convincingly and like blowing some of these teams out that they should blow out, like the Lions and the Bears, then okay, maybe I'll put them up there a little bit higher. But right now, no.
Blowing out those two.
I mean, it really doesn't say much when you blow out a team you're supposed to beat, but I mean,
I don't know if I don't see them blowing out though.
I mean, when you have a close,
like what you said, if they blow out, I just don't see them blowing out.
Like I mean,
it was a close game.
I mean, the Bills blew out the Titans like 41-7. I mean, if they can blow,
I don't see Minnesota.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
Out that they're supposed to beat and beat them convincingly.
I don't see.
I'm not gonna understand it. I might have to change my mind on them, but
I agree with you. All right, Tennessee Titans, contender or pretender?
Pretender. I mean, Ryan Tannehill. I don't think he's that good still. Their wide receivers just haven't. I mean, I don't. Sometimes Robert Woods gets lost. Their draft pick, their number one draft pick that they took in the first round this year, he hasn't. I don't think he's playing this week. He's hurt, and they're still trying to figure out. Like they're still trying to get Henry back to looking good. He looked good last week.
He did.
Finally, took him a little while. I think maybe this could be the turning point for him. The only saving grace is they're in a terrible division. Now, if they win this week, they'll be up 2 games on the Colts as far as their division wins against them because they already beaten them once. So this is a pretty big game. But man, I just this ain't the same team. Like maybe if they had AJ Brown, I know that's just one player, but that's a big time piece, and I just don't see it. I've never been a fan of Tannehill, so I know they had the best record in the AFC last year, but nah, I gotta go pretender. And my contenders all based on them winning the Super Bowl.
That's fair. That's what I wanted to. Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be. Hey, don't pick a contender. If I pick the ones I pick contender, I could see. I wouldn't be surprised. New York Jets, contender or pretender?
Pretender. I mean,
they are better though. I'll tell you that.
To the Jets, I thought they had probably the best draft class.
Yeah.
This past draft, and they're some of their picks are actually out there producing. Yeah. I thought they were playing like their offense was flying when they had Flacco. Then Flacco goes out, and Wilson gets healthy enough to play, and then they go out there and they beat the Steelers, and they beat the Dolphins. Now, both of those teams are reeling with their quarterbacks, and they have stuff going on. But a win is a win, and the Jets look really good. But nah, man, I'm not buying into the hype of the Jets right now. I think it's all going to start crashing down. They're in a tough division. They still have to play the Bills twice. They still have to play the Dolphins again, and maybe Tua will be back for that game. They still have some other tough games on the schedule. So I know a lot of people are getting pumped up in New York for the Jets and the Giants, but I think they're going to come crashing back down once they start getting some of these other games later in the season. And this is a big one coming up. They got the Packers.
This is a big one.
Packers are pissed off, having to travel over to England. So
it's a big test. I ain't gonna lie.
It's a big test for both New York teams, the Ravens and the Packers. So but nah.
All right. The last one, I think I know which way you're gonna go with this one. LA Chargers.
Contender, man. Like I'm high on the Chargers. I think It's unfortunate that Herbert got hurt. It's unfortunate that Keenan Allen got hurt. The running game looks a lot better. They're still missing some pieces on that defensive side. I think once they get those pieces back and kind of gelling with each other, like J.C. Jackson, that was a big free agency signing for them. He hasn't really played too much. He's been hurt. Same thing with like Bosa's out. So I think he's coming back though. So we'll have to see what happens there. I just want to see this team whole for at least the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 games, kind of so that way they can slowly start gelling together. I'm hoping Keenan Allen comes back soon. He's still dealing with that hamstring injury, but his age and trying to deal with that tissue issue with, it's unfortunate. Herbert with the ribs, they haven't really put teams away like the Texans game. They didn't put them away. They struggled with the Browns.
Browns are a decent team.
Browns are a decent team, but I mean, it's not. They're not Deshaun Watson Cleveland Browns. They're Jacoby Brissett Cleveland Browns. If they had beat this team with Deshaun and they beat them 30-28, I could be like, okay, you know what? They played a better quarterback. They barely won the game, but they won the game. But they're playing Jacoby Brissett. And I don't care how well Jacoby Brissett is playing or whatever it is. I can't take it seriously. So, but still at the end of the day, I'm picking the chart. I picked them to go to the AFC Championship game. I'm still sticking with it. I think they'll figure out a way to turn this season around and get back on track and make a deep run.
All right. Now, breakout fantasy players, week 6, Craig. Go ahead. Who do you got?
Quarterback, I'm picking Matt Stafford. I don't even know why I picked Matt Stafford. I had Geno Smith, but he went to the top. He vaulted into the top 10, so I had to.
That's what I got.
Geno?
Did he vault?
I do like Geno, but I had to get out of there. But
I got you.
I got Stafford. I think they're playing the Panthers. The Panthers defense has just been giving up left and right. The offense can't stay on the field, so I do expect Cooper Kupp to just catch passes all over this defense. Jeremy Chin's he's on the IR, so he's not going to be there. And the Panthers can't stop anybody. So I'm going with, and maybe this is a get right game for them. They're at home. They're playing.
Yeah, I can see it being a get right game for them.
They need to do something here. Running back, I got Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson ran all over the Panthers last week.
Yeah,
Falcons this week. Falcons give up a ton of yards. I don't see why Jeff Wilson can't run all over the Falcons this week. So I expect him to do the same. He's been playing actually a lot better than I thought coming in for Elijah. So he looks really good. My wide receiver, the Steelers give up so many points.
Yeah.
So I know I thought Tom Brady was going to have a big game last week at home against the Falcons, and he didn't.
Yeah.
I really expect Chris Godwin to go off this week.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, the Steelers are terrible. So I mean, he has to do something. The tight end Evan Ingram from the Jaguars. The last week he had a really good game. The Texans didn't find the end zone or nothing like that, but he had a really good game. And the last time he played the Colts, he had a solid game. That was the second best game of the season. So I kind of expect him to have somewhat similar of an experience this week against the Colts, and the Colts they give up the 5th most points to tight ends. So, and then my defense, I got the Commanders. I know the Commanders, haven't really been the defense hasn't really been like lights out or anything like that, but they're playing the Bears this week. The Bears are horrible. I don't care what they did last week to the Vikings. I thought the Commanders were going to win last week. They didn't. I'm expecting them to bounce back and get a big win this week. And I expect the defense to play well and get to the quarterback. They have a great front four, or at least 3 of the front 4 are playing. So they have to get to the quarterback this week.
Yeah, I definitely agree about that. Mo, your fantasy breakout players, week 6.
Quarterback, I didn't know he was in the top 10. I was gonna say Wentz, but I just looked at he's in the top 10, so I can't go Wentz. So I'll go Stafford and Geno Smith just for the sake of it. I was gonna go. I wrote down Carson Wentz earlier, but I was just looking at it. I thought he was in top 10 just off of yards. He is in the top 10 on some of the fancy top tier. I think he's like 8th on one of the fancy joints. So running back, I'm gonna go with Pollard. I'm gonna go with Pollard, and I'm gonna keep going with this till you have a breakout game. I'm gonna keep going with Cam Akers until he has a game. Until something gotta go. Something gotta give. Now, is he on my fantasy? That's fair. That's more than fair. But I'm gonna go with it till it happens. I'm also gonna go Terry McLaurin, and Samuels. I mean, we got to get going. Like, it has to get going because, like, I don't think neither one of them are in the top 15, but Wentz is in the top 8. So it's just kind of crazy. Like, you don't have a top 10 receiver, but you got a top 10 quarterback as far as fantasy. Like, they got to get going. Tight end, I like Hayden Hurst. And I like the tight end from the Browns.
The Joku, yeah.
You know, I understand because of the weapons, it's hard for essentially to go to him at a level for him to really truly shine. But I think he's he's really productive in that. I think he's shown some signs. Defense, I'm gonna go Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jacksonville defense. I think they're coming along. They're young. They're hungry. And the more and more they're in games, the more and more confidence they're going to get.
Yeah. Yeah, that's who I was gonna go. Quarterback, I picked Geno. Oh, go ahead. What you about to say?
And I'm going to say Washington defense. Because I really truly feel like this is a gut check moment.
Yeah,
like, this is gut check time. I feel like now it's like, what we going to do here? And I've always said this: when you got a defensive coordinator who's been a former head coach, and then now you got to look at it though. I think some people won't show up because the comments that Ron Rivera made and then backtrack. I think it's gut check time now because he knew what he was saying. I'm sorry, you've been around the league too long as a head coach for you to say that and then backtrack like, nah, I didn't mean it like that. Like, it's just, yeah. So I can see Wentz having a big game just to prove like, hey, nah, I'm here. You brought me in for the right reason. You know.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's hope so. Quarterback. I picked Geno Smith. I think he vaulted. I didn't know he was in the top 10. I think he's going to have a good game. I think they play the Cardinals. I know it's a divisional game, but the Cardinals is giving away a lot of points. And he has Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf to throw to. So I think it's Geno Smith. Running back, I got Jeff Wilson. I agree with Craig. I think he's balling right now. And I think the matchup that he has is perfect. So he's just – I just think the Falcons aren't a good team. So I think he's going to run all over them. Wide receiver, I got Gabe Davis. I think he's going to ball out. He balled out last week. I think he's going to ball out again. Kansas City pass defense is atrocious. Once again, that's Kansas City. They don't focus on defense. The running defense is different. You know, stops running, but not the pass. Tight end, I got Taysom Hill. I think they're going to use him like they used him last week, and that's like a cheat code. I do have Kamara, so it's up to me. Thought he was going to get at least one of those, but I got Taysom Hill to tight end position. The flex, I had Mostert, but he's going with some knee issues. But I got Devin Singletary. Even though the Chiefs' run defense is hard, like difficult, Devin Singletary he's been catching the ball a lot, and the Chiefs give up a lot of passes to running backs. So I think Devin Singletary is a good flex. Defense, with Mo, I got Jacksonville against Indianapolis Colts. The Colts offense, it's not good right now. Matt Ryan's not good. I mean, they're coming alive, but I think this is going to be a defensive battle and a defensive game. So that's what I got for the fantasy breakout week 6. And my favorite segment, final segment of the night. Who you got? Ricker. Wow. All right. I don't know where that came from. But this is who you got. and we're gonna start off with Mo. Minnesota. Mo, you got Minnesota versus the Dolphins. Who you got?
All right. Minnesota versus the Vikings. Head coach. I'm gonna go with Minnesota's head. I mean not Minnesota. I'm gonna go with Dolphins head coach. I'm gonna go with him. I think what he was doing before Tua got hurt was great. I still don't like the decision to keep Tua in there, but we're talking just strictly coaching right now. X's and O's. I think he's done a great job. I think he's turned the energy around there. They brought in some pieces, and he's done the best. He's maximized those players. Defensively, I'm going to take. I'm going to take Miami. I definitely take Miami defensively. Overall, offensively, I'll take. Offensively, if Tua is not, and I'm only doing this because Tua is not playing. If Tua is not playing, then I'm going to take Minnesota. Off for Tua not playing. Is what's name going to play? Is Bridgewater going to play?
I don't know. I'm just reading up on it. He is. Thompson is right now starting. Tua's been ruled out already, and Bridgewater is not yet cleared to resume practicing.
Okay.
This was
tomorrow's
today.
Thursday, so.
Tomorrow's Thursday, so
right there. If you ain't clear by now, that's tough. Because Wednesday's that kind of swing day, that kind of real important day. So I'm gonna go Minnesota. Offensively, I'm gonna go Minnesota. In this game, if Minnesota, the defense will allow you not to get blown out. Miami's defense will allow them not to get blown out.
So Mo, about Bridgewater, they said that Bridgewater appears to be in the second phase of the 5-step concussion protocol. And since he's unlikely to be a full participant until Friday at the earliest, the Dolphins won't be comfortable starting him Sunday without the benefit of a full slate of first-team reps. So we'll see. Friday is going to determine. That's what I got for this. About Bridgewater.
If we're going off of right now, if we're going off of right now, I'm going to go Minnesota. But I think Miami's defense is good enough to keep it close. But if they're down to the third string quarterback, I just think Minnesota's going to pull away at the end. So I'm going to go maybe 24-10. I'm going to go 24-10 Minnesota, especially if the third string quarterback playing. I'm going to go Minnesota 24-10.
Yeah. Minnesota versus Dolphins. I was expecting Teddy Bridgewater to be healthy, but his concussion protocol is taking a little bit more time, which I understand. He has to be health first, especially when it comes to this game. Coaching, I got to give it to O'Connell. He has the Vikings at 4-1, and the Vikings are playing really good right now. And I do like Mike McDaniel. I like him as a head coach, but I just think O'Connell's being a better head coach right now. Offense, I gotta go Minnesota. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith Jr., Dalvin Cook. They out there cooking, man. The offense of the Minnesota Vikings is running on all cylinders. Now, if Tua was for the Dolphins, I would pick the Dolphins. But unfortunately, we don't know if Tua is ever going to be back. Not ever, but I'm talking about this season. You got to do your health first. So I got the Vikings in that. Defense, I got the Vikings again. I just think that with the third string quarterback, it's tough. It's going to be a lot on the defense. And I believe Xavier Howard has some groin issues, and it's just, at this point, injuries is taking its toll, especially at the quarterback position. I think Minnesota just has a better defense. Overall, I wish both teams were fully healthy, slated, so we can see the really optics of this game. I think we would actually find out where Minnesota is at if Miami was healthy and where Miami's at if Miami was fully healthy. But this is the NFL, and I got Minnesota. I don't because of the third string quarterback, Craig. I do this might be a convincing win. But Bridgewater might play, so it could change. But I got Minnesota 28-20. All right, Craig. Vikings versus Dolphins. Who you got?
Coaching, I'm going with O'Connell from the Vikings. It's tough because I think McDaniel he's done a really good job, and unfortunately he's had to deal with his quarterbacks being injured, so that's unfortunate. I kind of want to say McDaniel just because of that, and I think his team could be 4-1 at least. But,
Yeah,
it is what it is. I'm slightly giving the edge to O'Connell. Offensively, I'm going with the Vikings. Their wide receivers are really good. They have a really good running back. The running game is better than the Dolphins. The wide receivers, I probably would lean Dolphins wide receivers slightly.
yeah.
I like Waddle and I like Hill, but obviously I like Jefferson, and then he has Thielen over there as well. He hasn't been playing like that,
Yeah.
like Thielen was a couple years ago, but he's still there. And quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins going up against Skylar Thompson. It's not even a question. Even if it's Bridgewater, I would still take the Vikings offense, but I think he's a really good quarterback. Kirk Cousins, anyway. I think he's a really good quarterback, but he just hasn't. Sometimes just doesn't step up in big moments. And this is a prime opportunity, like I said in the last segment, with the Lions and the Bears. Now the Dolphins are a better team than both of those teams, but they don't have a quarterback, so we have to see what's going to happen. I think Skylar Thompson with a week of preparation, I think the Dolphins will be better offensively than they were last week against the Jets, but we'll see.
That is a good point. It is a week.
The defense, I'm going with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins have a better defense than the Vikings overall. It's just the problem is that, like when you pointed out, having to deal with a young quarterback who hasn't really played and could be a lot of 3 and outs. The Dolphins defense could be on the field a lot more and could be getting tired having to deal with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen, whoever else, Irv Smith Jr. or whatever else go out there. So that's the problem. But overall, I do love the Dolphins defense better than the Vikings defense. The Vikings defense just hasn't lived up to me to what their expectations should be, which is at least a top half of the league defense. They're like 24th, 25th. Overall, I'm going with the Vikings here. I think just because of the quarterback, if Tua was playing, maybe even if Teddy Bridgewater was playing. Teddy Bridgewater, even though I didn't like him in Carolina, he's pretty much the best quarterback they've had since Cam Newton was healthy. Years ago.
He's a good, backup.
It's unfortunate that he went down last week, and doesn't look like he might not be able to play this week. We'll see what happens. But as of now, I'm going with Minnesota. Just because I haven't seen him really do too much as far as blowing teams out, I'm going 24-17. I think Dolphins keep it close. It's at home. They're going to have to deal with the heat. But overall, eventually, I think the Vikings win this game.
All right. Bengals versus Saints. Start this one off. Coaches. Got to go with the Bengals coach, Zach Taylor. I think he's just the overall better coach than Dennis Allen. Whether he has Joe Burrow or not, I just think he's a better coach. And I like what Dennis Allen did last week, but I don't know. We'll see if Dennis Allen's cut out to be who we think he is, but he doesn't have a good NFL coaching record. So I got to go with Zach Taylor. Offense, I got to go with the Bengals. Even though now this matters, right? With Joe Burrow, who shout out to Joe Burrow. I listen to him every week. He's on the Volume podcast with Colin Cowherd. He gives you a good perspective about how he feels and game situations that he goes through. So it's a good listen. It's like 30 minutes. Really good listen. So, I think that their offense is good. I really think that T. Higgins is one of the key pieces. And I think if T. Higgins is there healthy, they beat the Ravens. But he only played 10 plays. But besides the fantasy, I think T. Higgins is a very vital cog in their offense. And I think when he's not there, teams key heavily on Jamar Chase, and that matters to Joe Burrow. Um, but for this game, Higgins is limited at practice. I think he'll play. The Saints defense has been giving up plays. So and then Joe Mixon, Now the Bengals offensive line is terrible. And the Saints are probably going to be in the backfield all day. But I got to give the offense an edge to the Bengals. Just because the quarterback, running back, and receivers. The Saints receivers just aren't healthy right now. Michael Thomas isn't healthy. Kamara's not fully healthy. Jameis Winston's not healthy at quarterback. Olave's hurt. It's just, it is, they're not healthy. You got to be available, right? So, defense, I don't know what's going on with the Saints defense this year, but I'm giving the edge to the Bengals. I think the Bengals defense has been solid all year, and I think they're going to continue to be. I think the only thing the Bengals have problems with is their offensive line. I think their defense is good, and it's been holding them up for the season thus far. So I got to give the edge to the Bengals and the defense again. Overall, I like this game. I think it's going to be a good game, regardless of, it's number one. It's in New Orleans, so Joe Burrow's and he might try to show off he's down there. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. They won the championship for LSU, so they're pretty familiar with Louisiana. So, but the Saints, they've been giving up a lot of points. I think this is just going to be a really good game. But I gotta go with the Bengals. I think they score some offensive points this game. I think it's high scoring. I have the Bengals 35 and the Saints 28. Bengals winning. Craig, Bengals versus Saints. Who you got?
Coaching wise, I got to go with the Bengals. I got to go with Taylor. I think obviously what he's done last year. Whoa, sorry, it's not my
It's all good, man.
Team got off to a bad start this year, but they've turned it around. The Saints kind of still spinning their wheels, trying to figure it out. Jameis Winston doesn't look like the same guy that was there last season, at least in the beginning of the season before he got hurt. But I think what Taylor's done so far in trying to make a comeback, and what he did last year to the Super Bowl, and obviously this is a big game because this is two and three teams playing each other. So
yep,
this is big. This could make the
yep.
make or break both of these teams. Offensively, I'm going with the Bengals. I'm not sure. I mean, Andy Dalton has been serviceable. I don't even know if Jameis Winston's playing this week. I'm not sure. If he does still, their wide receivers, I don't know if Chris Olave is playing this week. He had to deal with a concussion. That's unfortunate. Michael Thomas supposed to be back this week. I'm not.
He hasn't practiced.
I'm not sure what's going to happen there.
Hasn't practiced.
The best offensive player for their team, at least last week, has been Taysom Hill, which is unfortunate because they have so many really good players on their team. Even Jarvis Landry, who is pretty much just gone, is just in danger. Basically, I haven't heard from him since week 1. So it's unfortunate, and I know that the Bengals have their issues as well with T. Higgins. He didn't play, but like you said, he only played 10 snaps. Joe Mixon hasn't looked like Joe Mixon, but at the same time, Alvin Kamara hasn't looked like Alvin Kamara. But man, I mean, and then the offensive line for the Bengals is just horrible. But I'm still sticking with the Bengals. I think they had the better quarterback. I think they had the better wide receiver, and I think the running back could be a push. Like both of them are really good running backs. But when Chris Olave probably not playing, Michael Thomas, who knows if he's playing? Like I gotta go Bengals offense. The Saints defense and the Bengals defense. Man, this is tough because on paper I'm going Saints, but the Saints just have not. They just haven't played. They haven't looked. I mean, they gave up 39 points to the Seahawks. Are you at home? Are you kidding?
Crazy.
Like, come on.
Crazy. It's been surprising. It's been surprising.
Defense, like the lowest points they've given up was to the Bucks, and I mean they played the Bucks well, and they gave up 20 points to the Bucks. But I'm just like, I mean, I don't understand what's going on with this defense. I had this team in the playoffs. I had this defense like a top 5, top 10 defense. They just haven't played that way. So, I mean, I got to go with the Bengals just because what they did last week to Lamar Jackson only held them to and that Ravens team held them to 19. They might have lost the game against the Dolphins, but Tua got hurt, but they still held them to 15. The most points they've given up is what 20-23 the first game of the season to the Steelers, and the game they should have won. So I mean, they're in every single game. The largest margin of victory has been 3 points, or the largest margin of defeat, I should say, has been 3 points.
Yeah.
So they've been in every game. The Saints, I mean, I don't know, man. I just expect the Bengals, if Higgins can be healthy and he's out there on the field, and of course they have Chase and they have Burrow, I expect the Bengals to just throw the ball and have a lot of success in this game offensively against the Saints defense, who has just not lived up to expectations. I think the Bengals can put up some points. If the Seahawks can, why can't the Bengals? So I'm going to Bengals 34 to the Saints 24.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. All right, Mo, Bengals versus Saints. Who you got?
Coach, I'm gonna take the Bengals. I'm gonna take Zach Taylor. Just what you know from me recently. I mean, even his overall resume is pretty much better than Dennis Allen's. Offense. I mean, even with Winston playing, I would take the Bengals. Even though I like, that's a strong combination when you have Landry, Olave, and Michael Thomas. But I feel like, what they have over the Bengals, and then you add in Joe Mixon, I think Hayden Hurst, I think there's a better overall. The O-line play has to be better, but overall, I'll take Cincinnati. Defensively, I'll take New Orleans. I love New Orleans defense. I think they've kept them in it despite the offense. Like despite the offense not having the explosive games that we're used to seeing New Orleans have. Of course, Drew Brees not there no more, but like we haven't seen a New Orleans type of offense explosion type of game. So that defense has kept them in it and has kept them around. Overall, I think New Orleans defense once again is going to keep them in it. I think they're going to get after Burrow, but I think after a while, when your offense can't move the ball, I think Burrow's going to make enough plays to win. So I'm going to go Bengals 27-17.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be high scoring. It's going to be bomb. All right. Craig, Ravens versus Giants. Who you got? Second week in a row, Giants made the who you got list, guys. Taking them.
Give me Harbaugh for the coach. Like I'm not. I don't think that's too many times I'm never going to pick Harbaugh, even though the Giants and Brian DeBall, his team is. I mean, they're DeBalling. 4-1. The team looks good. He's got a team going in the right direction, and he's beaten some quality teams, a couple of quality teams, and he's been in the one game that they lost. They were right in that game, so I got to give it up to him. But I mean, I can't take anything away from Harbaugh. Offensively, I'm going with I got to go with the Ravens. I know the Ravens don't have any receivers. The running backs are not Saquon Barkley good, and Dobbins is still working his way back, and things like that. They have a really good tight end, obviously. But I mean, it's all about Lamar Jackson and what he can do. And Lamar Jackson can make plays, and he's a much better quarterback, even throwing the ball to me, than Daniel Jones. And I know that offense, or at least the Giants, look a lot better this year on offense. And like I said, they have Saquon. They still don't really have any wide receivers to step up and things like that. But I do like the fact that the Giants have, I mean, like the offensive coordinator and the coach have pretty much tailored the offense around what they had. And
Yeah.
they made it work so far. They made it work. And this is a big game for them at home. But they pretty much had the last 3 games at home. Basically, the last 4 games, if you include this one, at home. So I mean, they haven't had a road game since the first game of the season. Really, if you think about it, I know the game last week was in London, but I'm talking about a true road game. So
Nah, I don't think
they got to wait until next week. But I mean, this is a big game for them. I mean, who would have thought that the Giants would have been 4-1 hosting the Ravens 3-2? I kind of would have thought it at least been the other way around. But it is what it is. Defensively, the Ravens look. I mean, the Ravens on paper are a lot better, but I got to go with the Giants. I think the way their Giants defense is playing really well, especially what they did last week. And I know the Packers don't have a big name receiver or whatever, but to hold the Packers after giving up 20 points in the first half, to hold them to 2 points, and that was a late safety at the end of the game. I mean, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I know they played the Cowboys without Dak Prescott. They gave up 20. They lost the game, but they were right in the game. The Bears, they did what they were supposed to do, held them to 12. The Panthers held them to 16. And they pulled off a win against the Titans, who missed the field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So, but the defenses played really well. I mean, the Ravens, they finally played well last week against the Bengals, which they do to get their confidence back, because the last couple of games before that, the Dolphins and the Bills game, they blew leads. So I want to see it happen against a really not a really good team, but against a team that's good as well, like a team people were starting to take notice of, and the Giants, who are 4-1. So I think if the Ravens can go up there and get this win, and the defense can play well, maybe I'll start picking the Ravens defense again. Who knows? But I can't do it right now. But at the end of the day, when this game is played, I gotta go with the Ravens. I know the Giants are 4-1, and they're riding this wave, and they're flying high, feeling good about themselves. But I think this is the time that it comes back down to earth a little bit, and the Ravens kind of put them in their play. And this is a big game for the Ravens, because they need they're in the AFC, 4-2 instead of going to 3-3. So I'm picking the Ravens to win, and I'm going 26-19 or 26-20. 26-20.
All right, cool. Mo, Ravens versus Giants. Who you got?
I'm gonna go hardball on as coaching. I'm gonna go hardball. I know Dayball's doing well, but overall body of work, I'm gonna go hardball. Offense, I'm gonna go Baltimore only because of Lamar. I do love how J.K. Dobbins was running last week. Of course, Mark Andrews is a baller. Dubonet's coming on well. But the Giants offense has also been doing well, and you got Saquon, but just Lamar factor. I'm gonna take the Baltimore. Defensively, defensively, I'm gonna take Giants. I'm gonna take Giants defensively. Overall, I think this is another game where the Giants offensive line, and I think Baltimore will find a way to force will force Daniel Jones to make more plays than he wants to. So in a close game, I'm going to go Baltimore 27-20.
All right. Baltimore Ravens versus New York Football Giants. Coach, I got Harbaugh. Got to pick him. Love the ball. Listen, he's probably going to win Coach of the Year, and he deserves it. And I love it. I think he's a phenomenal coach. They made, the hire is fit. I mean, it's a great hire. Gotta give it to him. But Harbaugh is a standard. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL. I mean, to be honest, Ravens should have beat the Bills. And who else did they? Dolphins. Yep. He should be 5-0. But If it was a fifth, I'll be drunk. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I gotta go with Harbaugh, the Ravens. Offense, I am a Ravens. Giants are depleted. They got Darius Slayton probably starting again. I don't like Daniel Jones as a quarterback. Saquon is phenomenal. But they just don't have any receivers. Ravens, they have probably one of the best receiving tight ends in the whole NFL, and Mark Andrews. And Duvernay and Bateman's been okay, but the X factor, Lamar Jackson, who is playing at MVP level. You gotta account for him. He's a great offensive. I give the offensive edge to the Ravens. Defense, I'm gonna give defense edge to the Giants. I agree with you, Craig. I think the Ravens defense is kind of like the New Orleans defense, kind of surprising. Expecting those two teams and a couple of teams that surprised me about their defense this year, but their defense should be a lot better. But I gotta go defense Giants, but they're not gonna stop Lamar. And I just think this is not gonna be a wake up call for the Giants, but it is because with the Ravens, now the Ravens defense played good against the Bills. The Ravens defense played good against Cincinnati. Let's see if the Ravens can continue to build this momentum. I think they will. Not to say the Packers are on a real NFL team, but I just think the Packers have their own issues on offense and halftime adjustments. I just think the Ravens will win convincingly. And yes, the Ravens will win 28-17. All right, Mo. Bills versus Chiefs. Who you got? This is going to be a good one. Oh, I think you froze. All right, Eddie. Mo. All right.
I think he's on.
Mo. You got the Bills and Chiefs, Mo.
I think he's on the phone.
Okay. All right, I'll do Bills versus Chiefs. All right, coaching. Gotta go Andy Reid. Now, listen, Sean McDermott is bomb. Sean McDermott is a really good head coach, and the Bills are a really good team. And I believe he's only had maybe one losing season since he's been there. And winning the division with Tom Brady and Belichick it's got to say something. But Andy Reid's a standard, 4 straight AFC championships. Is Patrick Mahomes on offense hitting on all cylinders? Andy Reid right now has the nod. Offense. Oh, this is going to be a good one because offense. Bills have Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. The Chiefs they have Travis Kelce, who at this point, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame, but he's pushing to be one of the best tight ends ever. Yeah, he's pushing that, especially if he wins another Super Bowl. If he retires and wins like 3 Super Bowls, he's getting up there with it's getting up there. So offensive edge, both the running backs are decent. Not a push. I would give Hilaire. They're close. I would give Hilaire a little bit edge because I think he runs a little bit more. Now, Josh Allen's an MVP race. Josh Allen still has Stephon Diggs. But the offense, I'm going. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in all of the NFL. Then Defense, I gotta go to Bills. Chiefs defense has been bad. I don't think they care. They got Patrick Mahomes, so they're always gonna be in it. Do y'all know that when the Chiefs are down, when Patrick Mahomes is down 17-0, his winning percentage is in the 60s? That's crazy. That's crazy. Like Tom Brady's is in the 40s. It's crazy. I know since I've seen Patrick Mahomes, he's made comebacks. If you it's over 10 or more points, they're never out of it. Never. So in this game, I'm gonna give the edge to the Bills. I know that I put up the Chiefs, all that. I just think the Bills defense win. The Bills beat them last year. I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. Preview to what we got last year. I have the Bills winning 35-28. All right, Craig, Bills versus Chiefs.
Yeah, coaching. I'm going with Andy Reid. Obviously, I like Sean McDermott, former Panthers defensive coordinator. And the job he's done up in Buffalo has been amazing. Turn that team around. Anyway, so yeah, I think Andy Reid is obviously one of the best coaches, one of the greatest coaches of all time. The job he's done with Philly, turn that team around. The job he's done with Kansas City, turn this team around. But Sean McDermott's on his way. Offensively, man, this is tough. This is a thing of the past for me, man. But I gotta go. I'm going with the Bills. I think just because I think they have a better, like the quarterbacks you could say is a push.
It's tough. It's tough.
Push if you wanted to. The running backs you could say it's a push. The wide receivers, I mean, I'm going with the Bills there. The only saving grace for the Chiefs is that they have a better tight end, who's arguably the best tight end in the NFL, one of the greatest tight ends ever.
Kelsey, right?
Yeah, Kelsey. So
yeah, it's getting to that point.
They have
their conversation.
They have some strong points, but I'm going to slightly lean Bills just because of they have two really good wide receivers. If the tight end, I don't even know what he's. I don't know if he's playing or not. And Dawson Knox, I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then obviously they have Josh Allen, who's playing like an MVP. Both quarterbacks are playing like MVP. So go either way between these guys. And this could, who knows? Maybe they'll look back. The voters look back on this game and this might be a deciding factor. Who knows?
MVP.
Yeah, between maybe like best record, but I mean, if they end up with the same record, they might look back at this game and say this team won. Let's give it. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think they're both going to have phenomenal seasons. They're both already off to a fast start. Defense, I'm going with the Bills. I think the Bills' defense on paper is better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they just give up a lot of points.
Their run defense is good though. They just give
up. Yeah, I mean, no. I'm not even gonna say that because they just gave up 140 some yards.
Exactly. Yeah. You're right. 150
yards actually to Josh Jacobs.
You're right. Yeah.
So I'm not putting any stock into that. I think their running game benefited a few weeks ago when they played Tampa Bay because they put Tampa Bay in such a big hole that Tampa Bay couldn't run the ball anyway, even if they wanted to, because obviously you can't run the ball when you're getting beat that bad. So, I think they benefited earlier in the season with Eckler, and then also they held him, and Eckler just wasn't going yet, and then he started to get going later on. As the season has progressed, the last couple of weeks he's been on, and also they hurt Justin Herbert in that game. They did a really good job against the Colts though, against Taylor. So I will give them that. Yeah, you really don't have to. There's no running backs there this week, so I mean I don't know what they're gonna do. Probably just hold Singletary and the rest and Cooks to nothing. But man, I this is the game I'm looking forward to probably pretty much of any game this season.
It's a bomb. I can't wait.
I think the Bills are favored in this game, even though it's a road game. Oh man, this is gonna be tough.
It's tough.
I'm leaning towards the Chiefs, but I think just because they're at home and I think they play well at home and the crowd's gonna be going crazy. And I mean, this is one game you don't want to miss if you're a Chiefs fan. But you know what? I'm going Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs. It's tough, man. I think it's gonna be another really good game. I don't think it's gonna be as good as their playoff game last year, but I think it's gonna be a really good one. I'm going 38-34 Chiefs.
Okay, cool. And Mo's right on time. Bills versus Chiefs. Who you got, Mo?
Maybe not. Who you got?
Who you got, Mo? Maybe his audio's not. Oh, he did say something's wrong with his audio.
Oh,
Mm.
hey man. Who you got?
I mean, if his audio's not going, then we only got one more left. Oh, you still can't hear y'all. Oh, okay.
I missed my first couple picks. That's why my team's ass.
Oh, let me see. Let me see if he can.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't hear y'all though.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't hear
okay.
y'all. I can't hear y'all.
Okay. All right. Who you got? Bills versus Chiefs. I'm gonna type it.
There you go.
All right. I got whatever. Yeah, I got for coach, I got Andy Reid just off of what you've done. I mean, he's won a championship. I got Andy Reid. Offense, I got Buffalo. Defense, I got Buffalo. I think Buffalo's wants to send a statement. I mean, I know last year I think they beat them in the regular season and then lost in the playoffs. But I think once again they're going to want to send a statement. I think Josh Allen's going to come out balling out. I think this might be the game that kind of exposes some of the Chiefs receivers or not having that take the top off type of danger threat, right away threat. So I'm gonna take Buffalo 30-21.
All right. All right, Mo.
Cowboys versus Eagles.
Yeah.
All right. Coach. I'm gonna take Eagles coach. I'm gonna take Eagles coach. Just right now, I think this is kind of not a body of work type of situation. I think this is kind of like what you've done for me, just a little different. Offense, I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm gonna take the Eagles offense, just overall weapons. Even with that, I still would take Eagles offense. I think AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, Miles Sanders. Defense, I'm gonna take Dallas. I just love what they've been doing. Dan Quinn has done a great job. Transforming his defense, getting players to play their maximum level. It's painful. It just hurts me to say this. Dallas is just on one of them roads right now that you just kind of look back and you be like, wow. I think it's gonna be a close game, and I think it might be an offensive battle. I'm gonna take Dallas on a late field goal, 30-27.
Ooh, all right. Craig, Cowboys versus Eagles. Who you got?
Who did Mo pick? He picked Dallas.
You picked Dallas, though.
All right.
I'm not surprised. A couple people picked Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, coaching wise, I'm going with what's the guy's name? Sirianni, right?
Nick Sirianni, sir.
I'm going with him. I think what the job, both guys have done a really good job. I can't I can't even sneeze at what Mike McCarthy's done just because the team is not committing as many penalties, and obviously they've thrived with the backup Cooper Rush and I mean without having Dak Prescott in there, and the team looks. I mean, they also don't have Amari Cooper, but I mean 5-0 is 5-0, and I got to go with Sirianni just based on the team's record. Um, it's tough. Offensive side, I got to go with the Eagles. They have their quarterback, obviously, in Hurts. They have two really good wide receivers. They finally starting to run the ball with Sanders. It seems like they forgot about him the last couple of years, but they finally starting to give him the ball a little bit more.
Yep.
Even last week when they couldn't run the ball, they still gave him the ball. What I consider a decent amount for consider. I mean, compared to how they were giving him the ball. I do like uh, Pollard, and I do like Elliott. Just doesn't look like Elliott anymore. I think his time as being like the number one overall back are pretty much done. I don't even know how much longer he's going to last in Dallas, just because Pollard is younger, and I think he can. If he gets more carries, I think Pollard could be the number one back for that team. But it's good to have a good 1-2 punch like the Browns or something like that. So, but Cooper Rush plays, which like he's going to. I mean, he's no Dak Prescott. But even if Dak Prescott played, I just don't know how up to speed he would be. It might take games before he actually gets get his footing back and get his timing back down with some of these guys again. I do like finally Gallup looks he's back on the field. They can get Schultz back on the field. Who knows?
Yep.
But I mean, I forgot about Goddard for the Eagles, so I'm picking the Eagles. Defense, I'm going Cowboys. I think I like the Eagles defense. I like what they've done, but the Cowboys defense is just, I mean, this was pretty much keeping this team afloat. It's the reason why they're 4-1. They haven't given up more than 19 points in any game so far this year. The defense is crazy. I can't say much. I can't say nothing else about it. I mean, ever since the first game of the season, I mean, they played the Bengals, they played the Giants. People are, I guess, high on. They gave them the Giants their only loss, if that's anything. They beat the Rams, the defending Super Bowl champs, convincingly. Like they held them to 10 points. Like I know the Rams have not played
Crazy
up to their capabilities or anything like that, but I mean, still to hold the team on the road to 10 points. I mean, you got that has to account for something. And the Eagles, like I said, the Eagles, I mean, they're one of the top teams in sacks. They have a really good defense as well. So, I mean, I can't be mad at them, or I can't say nothing bad about them as well. But I'm picking the Cowboys. This game, man, like I don't know, man. I think if Dak was healthy from the start and he's played every single game and he's been playing the whole time and getting that chemistry going with his receivers and everything like that and dealing with the offensive line issues, I probably would lean towards the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But no team's going to go undefeated. So it's only a matter of time for the Eagles to lose. But I think they do win this game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think both defenses come to play. I don't even think Dallas might not even. I think this is the first time Dallas is going to give up 20 points in a game, but I think they'll just give up exactly 20 points. So I'm going Eagles 20, Cowboys 17.
Oh, that's a good score. That was my score. That's a good score. Eagles, Cowboys versus Eagles. Who you got? Cowboys coach versus Eagle coach. I'm gonna be honest. Mike McCarthy's done phenomenal this year.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie, man. I can't even hate. I can't. I cannot hate on Mike McCarthy. I can't. To be honest, Cowboys probably make the playoffs. This stretch right now, he's probably saving his job. To be honest, that's fair, right? Because they look like if they get Dak, they'd be able to win a playoff game. But that's neither here or there. I gotta go Nick Sirianni just because I had a feeling the Eagles were going to be like this, but they look even better than I anticipated, and I think that's from his coaching. Offense, I gotta go Eagles. Jalen Hurts, they're running the ball with him more. They're running the ball with Miles Sanders. They have A.J. Brown. My man Devontae Smith. They're good. I like Dallas's offense. I just think AJ Brown's a better receiver than CeeDee Lamb. I think I like Zeke, but Zeke and Pollard are doing good this year. I'm not gonna lie. At quarterback, I'm going Hurts over Rush. So that's why I gotta pick the Eagles offense. Defense, I gotta go Dallas defense. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know this defense was gonna be balling like this. I did not know. They are balling. Tavon Diggs is balling. It's looked like he's fixed his problems last year. Gonna be honest. Looks like he fixed it. And he's tightened up. He's looking, not gonna say the best corner, but right now it's probably him and Slayton. He's looking like he's gonna get another Pro Bowl or Pro nod. That's all I'm saying. He's balling, so shout out to him. And then Michael Parsons he's such a great pick. How many teams wish they picked him? Jeez, man. It's funny. Shannon Sharp called it out. Shannon Sharp was like, "Hey, man, that young guy out of Penn State is going to be a monster." I've heard, and I started to hear it. I heard LeVar Arrington say it. A lot of people were coming out. I wish he fell to us, but he did. I think he would change our whole dynamic of our team. I think he's that good of a leader. I think he's just one of those generational type players that come along and change your whole franchise. So shout out to Michael Parsons. So I gotta give defense to the Cowboys. You know what? This is a great game. I'm glad it's on Monday night. I can't wait. It's like two heavyweights in the match, and it's gonna be. I think everybody's thinking this offense explosion. I think you're right, Craig. I think it's gonna be straight defense. I think it's gonna be no hold bar defensive game. I think Darius Slayton's going to show off. I think Michael Parsons is going to show off. I think and Craig picked my score, but I'm going to do another one. I'm going to go 21-17. Eagles beat the Cowboys. But I think it's going to be a straight up defensive game.
Hey, bro, that's Sunday night, not Monday night. That's Sunday.
Oh, Sunday night?
Yeah, okay. The Monday night game is Broncos.
You don't want to know what's Monday night.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. Anyway. I'm not watching that.
I might watch this one.
Yeah, watch that.
The Broncos are ass.
Yeah. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. But once again, guys, it was great.
No disrespect to the I understand the wide receiver that was wide open, when he missed him. But if I'm the defense, shoot, I should be one slamming helmets. If I was on the defense side, I'd be like, hold up, Slim. You held these people at 9 points and shut them down. We still lose? Like, come on, Slim.
I would have kicked the field goal. Never mind.
Yeah. And he gonna throw it.
I would have kicked the. That sounds bad, right? If I would have kicked the field goal, Craig.
He had dude wide open.
He had dude wide. Hamler was wide.
I didn't watch the game. I watched the highlights, but
I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the game. But y'all were talking about. I was like, what?
I'm confused as to why, the first game of the season, he went and kicked the field goal with
60 when it was 60
on the side.
But this time he throw it.
I guess maybe he heard the noise and was like, okay, we're gonna give you the.
Well, why? I would have kicked it. I would have kicked the field goal.
Yeah. The coach showed they couldn't move the ball against you. You'd have been up 6. They had no timeouts left. Less than 2 minutes left in the game. Coach had no timeouts.
Coach, I didn't understand it.
Right. I don't understand it.
Both defenses were playing lights out. Why not just kick? At that point in time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what Hackett's doing. It's just not working out for him. He's not working out for him, and it's not working out for Russell Wilson.